Yeah.
Summertime too, right? So that's like, as a teacher,
Hey,
like
it's
I
7
said.
o'clock.
Yeah. Oh, you're a teacher.
Ready?
Ready?
So I'm like, out of classroom this year, but I'm in the conference.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Hi.
I'm not the only one getting some.
Aloha, everyone. It is 7 o'clock and the Wahiawa Whitmore Village Neighborhood Board number 26 is called to order. Thank you and mahalo for everyone for being here. We do have handouts on the desk there so please help yourself. At this time on item number 2 on our agenda is our first responder monthly reports. May I call up HFD, our fire department? Thank you.
Hello, good evening. I'm Captain Lyman with Wahiawa Fire Station 16. For the month of August, we had a pretty leisure, slow month. Fire calls, we had 2 structure fires, 4 brush fires, 4 nuisance fires, and 15 activated alarms, which no fire was present. Medical emergencies, we had 60, 2 motor vehicle collisions, 1 mountain rescue, 1 water rescue, and 1 hazmat incident. For the month of August, or going into September, the fire safety tip for the month is please move over for emergency vehicles. Drive with caution and obey all traffic laws, including the move over law, to help protect our first responders while performing their duties on or near the roadway. This is more than a public courtesy. It's required that a driver of a vehicle that is approaching an emergency scene for investigation, possible traffic violation, rendering assistance to a police officer or other official duties, as indicated by flashing emergency lights of a stopped emergency vehicle. You shall slow down to a reasonable and prudent speed under a safe circumstances of the emergency road situation. If necessary, the driver should come to a complete stop before making a lane change. Make sure the lane change into an adjacent lane, if necessary, is safe to do so. If possible, go 2 lanes over. Just as a note, any emergency vehicle means fire, police, EMS, ocean safety, the freeway service patrol, any tow trucks or any state or county trucks that might be working on the roadway. That's all we got for this month. Any questions?
Thank you. Board members, any questions? Oh, TJ first and then followed by Sylvia.
Are we on? Oh, hi, Mr. Lyman. Nice to see you again. Thank you for all your guys' hard work. I see you guys taking care of our community. I wanted to know about that water rescue that you mentioned. What was that?
You know,
I
knew you guys was going to ask, because even when I looked at it, I said, ocean rescue. There's no ocean up here, but apparently we have a guy that's working overtime with us, and on their watch, they had a water rescue in Lake Wilson. 2 kids got stranded on a boat that lost power above the boat ramp. So they called the search and rescue team, and with Engine 16, they went up and they found the kids. The boat was just stalled and they were slowly drifting down, and that was it.
Was that up by Puka Puka Bridge on the way up toward the middle school?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where it was at, Ryan. Up there.
Yeah. Well, thanks for all that you guys do. I heard about that. And I said, what were they doing up there without adults?
Kids are gonna be kids, yeah.
Okay, and Sylvia had a question.
Just a quick question. What constitutes a nuisance fire? What is that?
Honestly, the homeless camp. They do a lot of burning over there, especially when they do sweeps and then they get upset. They burn their stuff, or if a new person comes in, they'll clean up the area and they'll start burning things. You know, the leaves, the branches. A lot of times we go there, like if it's kind of a rainy night, they'll start fires for the mosquitoes. So a lot of that is considered nuisance fires. We also have a lot where people burn the trash cans at night. We consider that nuisance fires too.
Thank you. Any questions from the community here for our fire department?
I'm sorry, Chair. I just wanted to ask a follow-up to Sylvia's
Sure, go
question.
ahead.
Was one of the nuisance fires the one about a week and a half ago coming off the freeway by the bridge?
I would say yes, if it was up in the, where they bought, or the water supply. We weren't on duty that day.
No, it was right on Kamehameha, you know, right where they go down. There's
Oh,
a trail.
yeah, yeah. No, we had that. That's right. We were on duty. Somebody lit a bunch of rubbish underneath the bridge, right by Discount Tire. Looked like a homeless area. They lit some rubbish under there. Yeah.
Would
that
you,
was-
would you say that the homeless encampments have increased recently, like from bridge to bridge?
The bridge, I would say not too bad. It's pretty much the same. This area over here,
Like Carson
Burroughs-
thought? Mhm.
yeah, Carson Top, that area is pretty bad.
Oh, it's still
Yeah,
pretty bad.
Yeah, it's still pretty bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I hope the mayor's representative and the governor's representative is listening so that they know specifically areas that need their attention. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and to add to that area that TJ was talking about over the Carson Bridge, actually the pathway is getting more entrenched and it goes deeper. So they've
Yeah,
actually,
yeah.
yeah. Any questions here from the community for HFD? Okay, virtually, any questions for our fire? Yes, go ahead. Hands up right there. Go ahead.
Hi, Alicia. Could you unmute your phone? *6.
Hello.
Go ahead.
Um, have you found the source of the gas at Wahiawa Town Center?
Sorry, can you repeat that a little louder? I couldn't hear you.
Have you found the source of the leak at the Wahiawa Town Center? I've noticed that your men have been out there, I was told like twice.
Yeah, I thought they found it was coming from the Thai restaurant. They had a leak in their burner. I know kind of recently they went back again, and I'm not sure if they fixed that that broken valve they had. But the original, when they first went for the leak, it was coming from the Thai restaurant. Yeah, yeah, from the Thai restaurant. Their burner was leaking the gas.
And I noticed that there were quite a number of firefighters that went out to find the leak. About how much does that cost the taxpayer?
I wouldn't have that number, but for any hazmat, we're going to respond at least one chief, one engine, and if it's a legitimate call, we'll call the hazmat team. And if it's a big area, like say the shopping center where we have to evacuate people, we bring in the manpower to adjust to the situation. But as for the costs, yeah, I couldn't give you a number on the costs.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Alicia. Any other questions virtually? Okay, coming back to, yes, go ahead.
Could I have a follow-up on that? Okay, say it's the Thai restaurant has the gas leak. So are they charged or is it the taxpayers paying for it?
Well, it's the taxpayers' business. It's just like if we do a mountain rescue or ocean rescue, they tried to pass that law like on Kauai where they charge people for taking a free helicopter ride because they go up into the mountain and now they're too tired to come down. So, hey, just call 911. They'll bring you down. But Oahu County, they haven't passed that law yet. So anything that we do, it comes straight from the city itself.
Okay.
We don't charge nobody personally.
Thank you, Michelle. Any other questions virtually or here? Oh, one online. We have a phone call. Hi, Val, go ahead.
Hi, aloha everyone. My name is Valerie Kupihetui Loma from Kealoha, West Oahu. if anybody has any homeless concerns, because I've heard a bunch come up about encampments or unsheltered individuals or families needing services, I dropped my email and my number in the chat. Please feel free to reach out to us. I know there's some areas that are getting really bad right now. So yeah, if anybody has any concerns, I left that in there. Thank you, TJ.
Thank you, Val. I know that Caliho, you guys do a great job out on the west side. So thank you very much for offering to help us out, assist if we need that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Terry Shikawa,
Oh, hold on. We have a hand up there, TJ.
thank you.
Go ahead. Is Alicia, go ahead.
That's okay. I'll address it later. Thank you.
And okay, TJ.
Chair, would you mind, Val, if you're still on here, I know that you said you put your contact information in the chat, but for those of us who are sitting here in Wahiawa, would you please provide that contact number? I think it's important that each and every time that you folks come, and because you guys are doing such a great job at trying to get a handle on our encampment problems, really would appreciate if you could share your number with us here tonight.
Okay, no problem. My direct line is 808-745-6494.
Thank you very much. And I want to let everybody know that KWO was instrumental in helping us get a family of 5 off the street very recently. So thank you again, KWO. You guys are doing a fabulous job. One person at a time, one family at a time in our community, and we'll get it done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions for our fire department? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next, we'll be calling up our police department.
Good evening, Lieutenant Baisa with the Wahiawa Police Station, Honolulu Police Department. Reporting that in the past 15 days from the beginning of the month, we've had about 4 assault cases, 5 burglary cases, 28 motor vehicle collisions, 1 robbery, 1 break into a car, and about 600 calls for service. I do want to invite you guys to Tuesday, September 24th, we're having our acting major do his meet the major for District 2 commander. It's basically a panel of our acting major, and it will be on at 30 to 11:30 a.m. at Sunset Beach Rec Center, 59540 Cam Highway. Normally we do about every area in the district, so Wahiawa, North Shore, and Mililani, but the first one that we're gonna do is in Haleiwa. Okay, thank you.
And HFD, do you have time to stay for a few minutes? Because there's something else on the agenda that you folks might be interested in too, if you are able to stay. Okay. Any questions from our board members for our police department? Yes, go ahead.
Could you tell me what is that?
It's almost like a town hall meeting where our district commander, if many of you don't know, the island of Oahu is divided into 8 districts as far as the police department is concerned. We are in District 2. So we cover Mililani, Wahiawa, and the North Shore up to the convalescent home in Haleiwa. So the acting major, Joe Gonzalez, is in charge of that particular area, that district. So he's going to be there to answer questions. It's going to be kind of like this, where people can ask questions and stuff. We also do have our coffee with a cop. We do that about once every month or a month and a half. We just had one recently on this past Friday, so I don't know when the next one is going to be, but that's a more informal thing where you get to just talk stories with a police officer, ask questions, very informal setting, have free coffee.
And question from Sylvia.
quick question.
Yes.
Thank you for your outreach. I appreciate that. We all appreciate,
welcome.
you guys going out to the community and doing preventative kind of stuff
Right.
rather than always intervening. I know Coffee with a Cop. Do you still do Shop with a Cop
We do
for
that.
children?
That's once a year. It's no longer called Shop. Shop with a Cop is actually a trademarked name. So we call it different things, Blue Santa, Shop with an Officer, something different. Yeah. But basically it's around Christmas time. And our community policing team reaches out to the schools, and they're the ones that usually give us the names of deserving children that would shop with officers.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Any other questions from the board members? Yes, go ahead, TJ.
Thank you. So
Right.
a couple things I wanted to ask because you didn't mention in there. And I know we had spoken before the meeting. You were not aware that the Civic Center project had been broken into over the weekend. So when they do have break-ins there, does HPD go out to take a report or anything, or would you folks not know about it? Because I think the report was just made earlier today.
Yes, like I said, so I'm not always on duty. Like I said, we had 600 calls for service in the last 15 days. So as much as information as we pass on to each other, we don't pass on everything. So that's probably one of the ones I didn't hear of, unless there is a highlight that we write about it. It's not something that I heard of. Yeah, but
And then
thank you for telling me.
you're welcome. Happy to share. Only because a project manager called and reached out to me. So if you folks didn't already know, the Civic Center, which is an ongoing project, and I think it's slated to open in 2026 maybe, had another break-in this past weekend, and equipment was stolen, tools that the workers had secured inside the work area was stolen. And a generator, they tried to steal a generator, but they were not able to take it, but they cut the wires to the generator. So before I say more about that, I also wanted to ask, because it's going to segue into the same thing. Have you folks been getting more reports about fights again in the district park? Because I'm hearing from other from community members that the fights at the district park after school is increasing. And now there's talk about guns being twice, I think it was shown. I don't know if HPD was called to those two incidents.
If there are calls about that, yes, definitely we respond. Again, that's not something really that we pass on to the next watch because it's something that happens during the day. So our watch hours are 6 a.m. to generally 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. So that's something that happens during the day. And that's not something that would pass on to the night watch, necessarily pass on to the night watch crew. Yeah.
Okay, and the reason that I bring up these two incidents is because most of us that are online, and I think everybody that is in this room, this is your community. And as much as we don't want to get involved or we don't want to say anything, I think it's time, and it's way past time, that we start taking care of our community. If that means that you call 911, if you see something like the Civic Center, I know that area is dark, especially, like after 8 o'clock. But if you see something, please just make the call to 911. It may seem like something that you don't want to do, but these are costs that are eventually passed on to the taxpayers, because that's our money that's building that structure. It's our money that's going into HFD and HPD to do things like rescues, respond to fights in the district park. So if we as a community can come together and take back our community. If you see something, I know you guys hear it all the time. If you see something, say something. If you love this community of Wahiawa and you want to live here and you want to raise your family where your kupuna neighbors or your kupuna family can walk around and not be scared, not be fearful, then make the call. And if you don't want to meet with an officer, that's fine, but make the call. And I feel bad because I should have called Saturday night on my way home up through Center Street. I saw somebody sitting over there and he was, just kind of casually, it was about 9 o'clock. I don't know if that person is the one that broke in, but I stopped there after work today and he was there. And I got out of my car and I said, you were sitting over here the other night. You know how to break in. I said, you guys better make sure that the break-ins don't happen again because the same people are there. So we have to say something so that we can get HPD. If there's a fire that's being started, we can get HFD out there before it becomes a big brush fire or before it becomes something that they have to call hazmat out there or get a couple other firehouses to respond to. So just wanted to encourage everybody to say something, do something, and just make the call.
Thank you. I'm going to take that a step further. I know it sounds like we're saying all about his kid and her kid. Well, it starts from home also. Yeah, we got to take care of our own family, educate our own children. So not saying it's you guys, of course, but that's something that we can pass on also to our own children. Like you said, it's our community. The people, the kids that are fighting are the kids within our community. So it's our kids. Yeah. So
And we have a question from our board member, Joe.
Are you related to Dr. Baisa?
no, sir.
Okay,
I'm
thanks.
the outcast. I think they're all.
Okay, virtually, any questions for HPD? Okay, and here, any questions for HPD, please? Actually, can I have you go to the microphone and introduce it? Yeah, Or you can come here, Joe, let it use his mic. And if you don't mind just giving us your first name at least, so we, thank you, right on.
Hello guys, my name is RJ. I live in Kilani Avenue. I know that a lot of like motorcycles go back and forth all the time, and I have a little kid that likes to play outside. I know I've called like maybe once or twice in the past month. Do you guys do anything about that? Like any like patrols there? Because I know a lot of motorcycles or even speeding, like down the road there, especially from Tamuras going all the way down to the port.
Yeah, so we do our share of speeding. Generally, our speeding enforcement is done in areas where there's a lot more accidents, which is the freeways, the highways, and stuff like that. Kilani Avenue, yes, it's definitely a concern. We do have officers that patrol. Unfortunately, with speeding, it's a violation, so the officer has to observe it. So either observe it visually, or we have our LiDAR laser, yeah. It was actually brought up by a lady outside. She didn't want to, she's too shy to come in, but Broad Street, same thing. Yeah. So we have our share of it, and we do our share of enforcement. I don't have the stats for you for speeding.
Is it a possibility if we put like a speed bump over there, or do I like?
That is a question that you would have to ask Department of Transportation. They would have to do studies and things like that. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much.
And I can, if you don't mind, I'm just going to add to that. So RJ, in the past, you brought up about speed humps. So in the past, this board has activated to have speed humps put in. So you would see that you see it on behind Lemmy Street, behind Foodland. Those, this board helped those speed humps get placed in there. Also, certain parts of California and that area up there have speed humps. By Royal Palm. So but it does take time to get that, the studies get done and the petitions get done. And so there's a process and it is doable, but it just takes a little bit of time. Thank you. Okay. And I have Dean, sorry. He's been waiting. Dean.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is in conjunction with what TJ, our member Charisma, was saying. As a former police officer, and LT, correct me if I'm wrong, when you see a suspicious person, it's in regards to reporting that. Don't always approach someone who's acting suspicious or being, breaking into something. Don't try and approach them because they may be armed offensively, and it may be your life that you're putting in your own hands. Better to get a description of them, note the time, the location, call 911 right away. Most of us have cell phones, so you can do it right there from your car, even without giving notice to this guy you're reporting him. And let the police check it out. They know how to approach these people, and take matters from that point on. But very good. Thank you, LT, and thank you, TJ.
Thank you, Dean. That's a very good point. Yes, please let us do the work.
Yeah.
We have the tools, we have the training, we have the equipment, and we get paid the big bucks. So it's what you're paying us for. Let us do that work. Thank you.
Okay, go ahead. Thank you, Dave.
Could you repeat the date and the place for meeting the major?
Meet the major. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. So September 24th, that's a Tuesday, 10:30 to 11:30 a.m. at Sunset Beach Recreation Center. That's 59540 Kamehameha Highway in Haleiwa. Sunset.
And I'm sorry, ma'am, would you please take the mic back and introduce yourself? Thank
Slay
you.
Learmont.
Okay, we have,
There's another.
yeah, if you don't mind, there's one more. I believe that's Alicia. Alicia, did you have a question?
Hi. I'd like to know how many accidents has happened on the intersection of Avocado and Walker.
Unfortunately, that's not a statistic that we keep track of, being the police department. The Department of Transportation do the studies on accidents, and they're the ones that do mediation and stuff like that for intersections that have high frequency of accidents. So I can't tell you offhand. I can look it up, but I can't tell you offhand. Sorry.
Okay, and also another question, those buildings that the homeless were building in the back, I still see a whole number of homeless people lingering there, loitering. And what's become of that? Is HPD surveying, keeping tabs on those people, or what's happening?
Not necessarily. Which building is this you're talking about, Alicia?
The one on Avocado, the empty
You know where the
building.
Cherry Ishikawa,
yeah, it's the one. Yes, go ahead.
may I share some information about that particular building?
Yep, go ahead.
So I'm just gonna share what I know.
Thank you. Yeah.
So I do know that that property, because HPD and the city and county do not yet have permission from the property owner to go on and trespass anybody there. I do know that the owner is the only one that's responsible for that area. There is also some conversation going on with the state as well as the military because of the unique ownership challenges that those properties have. So while the city has been slowly moving with the property owner to secure the area, it's getting done. You can all see that there is less and less rubbish there. I think there's only one car there. So it's a long process, Alicia, like you know, but it is being addressed by the mayor's office and DPP, and I think HPD at some point will come in on that conversation. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. And the mayor's representative is here present tonight, and so we can always ask him for a follow-up, but it is the three property owners and that whole thing. Any other questions for our HPD at this point? Okay, before you leave, I know I wanted to get this out to HFD, but just in case you aren't aware, and you can always look it up later, or you can go back and watch it, but there are 3 items on our agenda which will be or could impact HPD and HFD, and that's because upcoming there are going to be announcements and discussion on the Little High School Centennial Parade, which will be on a scheduled Wednesday. So there has to be preparations and approvals for that. So we do have that coming up for discussion. We also have the November Veterans Day Parade that also has to be discussed for discussion. And then the last thing is that there is a liquor license application that's going to be being worked on. So I just wanted to make sure you folks know and HFD know about that as well. So
The first parade is that the October 16th one?
the October, it's the Wednesday.
Wednesday,
It's the
right?
Wednesday, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much,
Thank you so
Dan.
much.
Can we give a round of applause to HPD? Because he took a lot of questions tonight. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, everyone, moving down to our section 3 monthly reports. Do we have Sean here for Congresswoman Tokuda's office?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you loud and clear. Hi, Sean.
Hi, thank you very much. So yeah, my name is Sean Kim from Congresswoman Jill Takuda's office. I'm here to give our monthly report. Rep Takuda spent most of August in the district, meeting with constituents and attending, different events in the community. Rep Takuda is now back in DC, where the House will be taking up appropriations bill before the end of the fiscal year, which ends September 30th. And also our office is now open and receiving applications for those interested in seeking a nomination to a military service academy. So just a quick update, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Board members, any questions?
Cherry Shikawa.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just wanted to make a comment. Would you please extend my sincerest aloha to Ms. Tokuda? She was instrumental, along with her office, in helping us connect a veteran that had been without services from VA for over 19 years. And their office was able to connect us to someone that has him on the right track. And he is, along with his family, he is most grateful for your assistance. Thank you.
No, thank you very much. And I'll definitely pass that kind message along.
That is great news. Thank you, TJ. Any other questions from board members for for Congresswoman's office? From the community, any questions? Okay, virtually, any questions for Congresswoman's office? Okay, hearing none. Thank you very much, Sean, and give our regards to the Congresswoman. I know it's really busy. She's probably going crazy up there with lots of things going up.
No, thank you very much.
All right, take care now. Okay, moving on to our United States Army. We have, and if everyone can please round of applause to the new Captain Adam Hike. It's his promotion.
Thank you for that, everyone. I'm Captain Adam Pike from the Army. Just a few announcements this month, starting with the September job fair. So the U.S. Army Garrison Hawaii is holding its next hiring fair tomorrow, Tuesday, September 17th at the Alia Manu Military Reservation Gymnasium. It starts at 8:30 a.m. and ends at 2 p.m. This event is open to the public. There will be job offers and provisional hiring the day of the job fair. Advanced applicants may go to www.himwr.com. Click on the employment banner to learn of openings and how to apply online. Walk-ins are welcomed and should bring 2 references, proof of ID, social security card, and a resume or application. There are opportunities in business operations like golf, bowling, food services, and many others. The Child Youth Services will have openings to consider. For those who work in Child Youth Services, there are a variety of benefits such as retirement, access to all recreation facilities, discounted childcare, training, and commissary and PX privileges. For the September training advisory, the Army in Hawaii will continue training in East Range area with Ranger and Jungle Tactics Small Arms Blank Fire from September 9th to the 21st and the 23rd to the 27th. This will be day only from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And aviation training on September 17th and the 19th, also day only from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Additionally, on Schofield Barracks, there will be training with artillery and mortars on September 14th to the 16th and the 17th and 19th from 5 a.m. to midnight. If you want to be added to the training advisory list, please email usag.hawaii.comrel@army.mil. And for any questions, please call the Community Concern Line at 808-787-1528. Lastly, we have the upcoming Joint Pacific Multinational Readiness Center training. The 25th Infantry Division will execute JPMRC 2501 training exercise in coordination with the Joint Pacific Multinational Readiness Center and the 196th Infantry Brigade from October 7th to the 16th. The initial forecast is for about 1,000 multinational participants expected from Malaysia, New Zealand, Indonesia, Thailand, UK, Japan, Singapore, the Maldives, Australia, and Canada, which is an increase from last year. Please expect increase in military convoy and vehicle traffic from September 26th to October 3rd. Additionally, an increase in aircraft noise and combat simulations during training operations from the 7th to the 16th of October. There will be an increase in helicopter, fixed-wing aircraft, and unmanned aircraft systems, specifically around Wheeler Army Airfield and Dillingham Military Reservation during the training operations from the 7th to the 16th of October. As a reminder, 808-787-1528 is the community concern line to share with us any community feedback. We'd like to thank the community for your understanding and patience. And that's all the announcements I have for this month.
Any questions from the board members? Okay, questions from the community? Or questions virtually? Any questions? Okay, seeing none. Captain, can you repeat that phone number for the community outreach or?
Yeah, of course. It's 808-787-1528.
And that is for any kind of concern or?
Yep, it's the generic community
Generic,
concern
okay.
line. So call with any questions or concerns that affect the community.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Next, we're going to be calling up our U.S. Navy. Hi.
Aloha, everybody. Thank you for letting me speak here tonight. Madam Chair, I provided you with our update, our full update earlier today. I brought several copies of the Mo'olelo newsletter that Navy Region Hawaii puts out. I've got them up here on the desk, so you can take a look at that. And also it has contact information in there for various things. What I wanted to do tonight was take an opportunity to talk to you about something that's near and dear to my heart. My wife and I often walk around Wahiawa, and actually yesterday we walked by here and we walked by the pool, and I saw that World War II memorial commemoration, and it reminded me that our December 7th ceremony is coming up. And so I'm the historian for Navy Region Hawaii. I work in the public affairs office, but my primary role is historian Navy Region Hawaii. And I'm also the Navy coordinator for that ceremony. I've been doing that for about the last 10 years. And so I wanted to take this opportunity to talk about that a little bit. This is going to be, it's only 3 months out. This is going to be the 83rd anniversary of the attack on Pearl Harbor, what we call an annual Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day ceremony. And I just to give you some perspective. So we have over 16 million veterans of World War II that fought throughout World War II or during parts of World War II. The numbers have not been updated for 2024. It's supposed to be in September. I checked today, they hadn't updated it. But as of 2023, there were 119,000 that were still living, actually a little over 119,000. 131 World War II veterans that are dying every single day. And that number has increased because that was numbers from a year ago. So I've been involved in over 10 of these ceremonies. We would average about 60 or 70 veterans for each of those events. 2021, even with COVID and everything that was going on, we had 135 veterans that came to that ceremony. The next year, we had about 22. Last year, we had about a dozen. This year, we're looking at maybe 4 or 5 confirmed veterans that are going to be coming to the ceremony. I'm sure there'll be more, but just so very important to let you know about the ceremony, to invite you to come. It's going to be on a Saturday this year. It's at the Pearl Harbor Visitor Center. It's on a Saturday. It's not on a weekday. I know that's often a problem with traffic and so forth, but it's going to be on a Saturday, and it's open to the public. So there'll be about 2,500 seats that'll be under tents, but there's plenty of we can bring in more seats if we need to. There's going to be plenty of standing room, obviously, if folks want to stand. The theme for this year is going to be Forging Ahead, which is just the idea that we understand that we're losing our veterans at a rapid rate. We're still going to, if we have one veteran there, we're going to honor the veteran that's there. If we don't have any veterans there, we're going to honor the memory of veterans, but we have families that are coming as well. So it's just about what do we do moving forward to remember what happened on that day and the legacy of that day. Because the really, really important thing about December 7th is when you look at that memorial, in the shrine room, on either side of the shrine room is a sculpture of the Tree of Life. And what does the Tree of Life represent? To the designer, it represented renewal and lasting peace. So the idea is that we honor those who died on December 7th, and nearly 50% of the total casualties in the attack on Pearl Harbor are on the USS Arizona alone. So over 900 souls that are still on board that ship. But we honor those who died, but we also understand that we are the ones that are going to carry on that legacy. The piece that was won, we're the ones that are going to carry that on. So important to honor our vets and learn from the past. The keynote speaker this year is going to be Nikki Stratton. Nikki Stratton's grandfather, Don Stratton, was one of the last survivors on the USS Arizona. She is also the sponsor. I don't know if any of you know, there's actually a submarine that's going to be named the US, or already has been named the USS Arizona. It's SSN 803. It should be launched sometime around 2027, 2028, but she's the sponsor of that submarine. So she's going to be coming speaking on behalf of the families. And again, kind of what the ceremony is becoming. Real quick, lots of junior ROTC participation, which I think is great. We had a great turnout last year from junior ROTC. We get them involved in the ceremony. We have wreath bearers that will lay wreaths at the memorial or at the grounds of the visitor center. Usually we'd have one service member, one Park Service ranger, and now we have a ROTC cadet that's there as well carrying that wreath. So when you talk about carrying on that legacy. So again, it's on a Saturday. Hopefully there'll be a better chance for folks to come out and see that. We invite you to invite veterans. If you know veterans, please reach out to us. You can on this Mo'olelo newsletter, you'll see a phone number that you can call. We want to invite the veterans to come out. If you want to volunteer, that's also possible as well. We always need lots of volunteers for that ceremony. One last thing, it's not just about the December 7th ceremony and the USS Arizona. We also have ceremonies for other memorials, other ships that were here on December 7th. We have a ceremony at the USS Utah, and we're going to have a Utah survivor he survived the attack on Pearl Harbor. His ashes are going to be interred on the Utah this year. So again, just a really, really important ceremony. Always want to invite people to come out, learn what we can, honor our veterans, learn what we can from the past so that we can be those that will carry that on into the future. So the Mo'olelo newsletter is right there if you want to check that out. And then next, it was because I saw that memorial that made me think of this. So I didn't have a whole lot of time to put anything together, but I will put something together that I can have here for next month's meeting, so you can have that as well. Also, to turn the page, Brian Cheplick couldn't be here today. The Red Hill Task Force representative, he will be here next month. So expect him to be here to answer questions dealing with Red Hill. And that concludes my presentation, but I'll take any questions that you might have.
Any questions? Yes, go ahead.
You keep saying veterans, you're talking about only the World War II vets?
I'm sorry, yes. I'm talking about, yes, World War II veterans. Now, we do have lots of other veterans groups that come. That's a very, very good point. I actually made a note of that in here, but I guess I didn't read my notes. But yeah, when I'm talking about veterans, how many veterans we had coming, we only had about a dozen last year. I'm talking about World War II veterans, and very few of those are Pearl Harbor survivors. We also have a lot of Rosies. The last few years, we had a lot of Rosie the Riveters that have come, which has been kind of cool. That's something that we hadn't highlighted in the past. So we might have a pretty good contingent of Rosies, which are also World War II veterans. But yeah, we are losing. When we're talking about the 85th anniversary, I would be surprised if we would have many, if any, World War II veterans at that ceremony. This is the 83rd.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions, board members? Yes, go ahead, TJ.
When you bring your information next month, could you also include information about where the public can park? If we have to call ahead, or simple flyer would be good, because I think next month's meeting is going to be in Whitmore, so that would also be a good time to share that information with the community.
Yes, ma'am.
Parking, all of those good things.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I will.
Okay, any other? Go ahead, Joe.
If you want to help or assist or volunteer, how do I get hold of you?
Let me give you my office number. That'll be the easiest way, because the email is kind of complicated. It's 808-473-2880. 808-473-2880. And Madam Chair, I can provide that. I can provide some contact information for you as well.
You can email me.
Because we always need volunteers.
Yeah.
We always need help. But if you don't volunteer and help, if you just come out to the ceremony, that would be much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, any other questions, board members? Okay, community, any questions? And virtually, any questions? Okay, seeing none. Hey, Jim, later we should talk, because Our family has a history of that Wahiawa swimming pool.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so my dad, when they came back from the war, so
Yes.
that's the very first swimming pool in the city and county of Honolulu that was built by this community
I would like to
with
have
my dad. And so we have some artifacts and yeah, very cool stuff. So it's pretty amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to the next item on our agenda, Board of Water Supply.
Aloha, Chair, Board members, and guests. Nicole Rodwell with Board of Water Supply. There were no water main breaks in the Wahiawa area in August. Yay. Sorry, I should have brought the July information, but I neglected to bring that. I'll bring that next month. And I only have one quick announcement this month, and it's about our annual Imagine a Day Without Water event. It's going to be held on Saturday, September 28th from 10 to 2 at Kapolei Regional Park. It was held here at Wahiawa Freshwater Park. So some of you came out, TJ came out. It's a great event. We have a lot of city, state, community agencies setting up different booths where you can learn about One Water and the impacts of climate change. We have rain barrel workshops, xeriscape plant crafts, succulent mini workshops, and then we have all kinds of food trucks, games to play, and prizes you can win. But I have flyers at the table, and there are, if you flip it on the back, it shows where we're going to be. So we're alongside Montevideo Street across from Pomea Street. And then actually, I just also wanted to touch on one thing. I know TJ's brought it up in the past and I've touched on it as well, but if you guys ever have anything to report for any city agency, you can go to Honolulu 311. There's an app you can get for all Android or Apple phones, or you can simply type it into your Google search and put in any kind of report. So if there's a car blocking a fire hydrant, or you see something that needs to be taken care of, like grass seed mowing or anything like that, any kind of damage on city grounds, you can go in and report that. That gets sent to the proper agency and we have to follow up on it. So if you don't get a response, we'll get hounded as well. So it'll ensure that things will get taken care of. And you'll get a response still directly by the way that you have requested. So if you put in your phone number, your email, or if you make it anonymous, you'll get a response through the app. So it's a great tool. I've used it myself, and a pothole right outside of my apartment was filled in and nobody had to know it was me. So yeah, now they do. But if there are any questions or concerns for Board of Water, I'm happy to take those back.
Any questions from board members? Go ahead, Erin.
Hi, good evening, Nicole. How are you? That app is really good. I had one filled out over here, but then unfortunately, then all the water work started. But I received an app. I was looking for. Sorry, I received a survey from Board of Water. Is that something that's going out? And do you
Is
have
that the lead survey?
Yes, I think so. Can you explain a little bit about it? If you know, I was like looking for it on my phone. I couldn't remember, but it was like pretty exhaustive. It asked like how much money I made. Have I not paid a bill before? What are the bills I pay?
So that is sponsored by one of our consultants, the Lim Tiako company. I should know more about this because I actually drafted the letter. But it's for the new lead and copper rule revisions. So they have to ask so many questions to make sure that we fall in line with their rule. But I can get more information for you.
I mean, it's general, like census information and then some specifics of like how many people in the household. And so I'm just assuming they're looking sort of whether it's a right fit for for federal funding or something. That you'll find out more.
I will find out more. I don't want to. No, you're fine. I just don't want to misadvise you.
Okay, thank you.
How long is the survey up till?
So it went out to not all households, but I believe it is, I want to say a month to 2 months that it goes out like once a year.
We have one more board member with a question.
This isn't a question. It's so often, agencies just get complaints. But my mother-in-law's house in town, the connection by the water meter was leaking. I called within 2 hours. They were there fixing it. So good job.
Thank you. Our leak detection team, they're pretty amazing.
That's a good one. Any other questions from board members? Okay, here in the community for BWS? Okay, and virtually, any questions for BWS? Okay, seeing none. Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you.
Okay, and board members, I'd ask for your support. I would like to, due to the time as it's flying by, and we have graciously, we have HPD standing by for additional information. With your support, can I move item 5 in above to item 4, if we can reverse it so we can do our presentations earlier and then we can do residents' concerns thereafter. Anyone? Okay, thank you. Any second? All in favor? Okay,
Aye.
any opposed? Okay, thank you for your support. So our presenters tonight, we're jumping to item 5 on the agenda and then we'll return back to item 4. But item 5, rules of decorum, all participants at this meeting shall extend the spirit of aloha to one another. There shall be no displays of disrespect to one another. Public comments can be made within the stated time limits and without interruption unless the comments are offensive and or out of order and are not conducive to civil discourse. Having said that, our first presentation is coming from Liliho High School. We have 2 presenters. Our first will be Jenny Yamamoto, who is working on the LHS Centennial Organization for the parade that's coming up, the Centennial Parade, followed by Carolyn Hayashi from the Wahiawa Lions Club to talk about the Veterans Parade coming up. And board members, this is something we will need to vote on.
Hi, my name is Jenny Yamamoto. I am a resident of Wahiawa, teacher at Lelehua. So I have been tasked with working on the 100th, and we have a great committee put together, but we are a little new to this whole parade game. And we did want to bring it up, when we were in high school, it stopped our freshman year, I know for me, and it was a long-standing tradition of having the homecoming parade. So we wanted to bring it back for the alumni, really. We are a little late in asking all these things. We didn't realize how much it would take to put on this lovely parade. So please bear with us because we are trying to get all the words out and do all the proper things. We are meeting with the Department of Transportation tomorrow for our parade meeting. And so we do need board's approval and some feedback. So our parade is planned for October 16. It is now pushed back to 6:30 to avoid traffic time even more. We initially wanted a little bit earlier we really wanted to include the senior classes. So that's why LACA is so graciously sponsoring the first trolley so that the alumni can be a part of the parade. We don't want you guys to just come out and watch. We want people to be a part of the parade and join up with other alumni. And we really want it to be inclusive. So it is 6:30, starting from Ka'ala and then going up to Fred Wright. We're not sure if we're going to get approved for Fred Wright or if it'll be King Street, but it'll be one of those. We have a lot of partnerships right now already set. So as long as we get the permit, the military is going to be involved. Majority of our feeder schools, as well as, of course, the Lelehua students. And we also have a lot of the alumni that are going to be a part of the parade. So we hope that you all will approve this. And if you have any comments or suggestions, we know that we are working on getting the word out better. So these are our flyers. Some of them we just made a little bit more clear. And we're gonna put more banners up in the community, or we wanted to honestly put flags up and things like that on the poles, but when I checked, it is not allowed. Only in Waikiki are flagpoles allowed? So we wanted to do it like on the mainland. A lot of times once you get by the school, you'll see flags, you'll see like the paw prints on the ground. Yeah, sorry. We want that, but yeah, we can't do that. So we're gonna put up more banners. We will try and contain ourselves, but because we also don't want to litter it. Sometimes I feel like there's too many banners and it just looks like a hot mess. So we're gonna try and get the word out more. And we're trying to find a lot more social media that multiple groups will hit. So like I just got onto Only in Wahiawa and the Exit 808 ones, and LACA has already been pushing out, as well as our school. So
Okay, and before we begin questions, can you introduce your?
sorry.
Yeah.
This is my great savior, Grant Toyoka. So he works for the district, but he so graciously is helping me through this interesting process.
Did you want to say a few words before you get before we ask our questions?
Okay, so the parade really kicked it off, right? So the conversation that we've been having is how do we, because everybody that I talk to, right, because I'm district level, so I work at the Lelehua schools, Milani Wailua schools, when they see me wearing a Lelehua shirt, they all tell me, I went to Lelehua. I'm like, oh, great, tell me your story. And they have so much pride, which got us thinking, right? This is a very close-knit community. How do we instill that sense of pride in the high school out to the community? And what I mean is I was talking to Dr. Cook earlier and I said, hey, you know, Mililani High School is part of the town of Mililani. Wailua High School is part of the town of Wailua. Lelehua High School is part of the town of Lelehua. No, right? So it doesn't have that connection. So we're looking at like, how do we, because there's so much pride, how do we build that? How do we instill it so that when people enter, they know that they're, you know, Lelehua High School is the high school in this great town, right? So that's been part of our conversation as well. So we're wrestling with kind of two things. So for the approval for the parade is a bigger concern right now, but also the deeper concern is how do we then promote it so that it lives beyond just the centennial and into, you know, so that way we have kids that are wanting to transfer to Lelehua High School instead of transfer away. Right. That way we get people coming in because they want to specialize. Lelehua High School is really tremendous programs from cybersecurity to culinary to ag. Right. How do we promote all of those great things to build it up? So two things, but.
Okay. Well, thank you. So I'm going to start off with the questions on this one because I have a lot of questions after talking to Jenny and everything. But we know this is a good thing. So number one, I just want you, only because of what you just said, I think is really critical that you folks understand as well how many of us from Wahiawa, Lelehua is Wahiawa. We are, you know, so when you say, what is Lelehua? It's not, no. Don't do that. Because honestly, anybody here from Wahiawa who went to Lelehua, we're the Mighty Mules. I don't care what you say. We are the Mighty Mules. And if somebody said, oh, Lelehua, that's not part of Wahiawa. No. So that's number one. Let's all work together. And let's make sure that we love Lelehua. Anybody who went to LHS, we are the mules, no matter what. Win or lose, right, Carolyn? Win or lose, we are the mules. We are the mules, the Mighty Mules. Okay, that's number one. Number two is, I think, we graciously appreciate the HPD is here. I'm sorry that we weren't able to get a little bit earlier to have HFD here, but I think it's really critically important that we hear the reasoning of why it's on a Wednesday night, you know, versus on, well, Friday night is your home game, but why not on a Saturday or Saturday morning or not? Because of the timeline, you know, and because you're going to be hitting traffic on a weekday night. So he's explained that. And then I have two more questions after that.
So we initially did pick the Wednesday for the students' sake because we knew we wanted to include the feeder schools in the parade, or whether they were to join in the parade or just be on the side. You know, they love watching parades. I know my kids did when they were little. We were thinking that Wednesday is a short day for them, so they would have a rest and then be able to. And we definitely wanted it before the homecoming game. And the week before, there was major school events, so we couldn't have it on that week, the Saturday before. And then we only got, we internally wrestled with that date, but then it was only brought up to us after speaking with the mayor's office, how come we didn't move it to a Saturday? But that was like last week. So it wasn't suggested earlier in the process. So it's kind of late because it was, we were asked how much outreach we've done, but then it's hard because we don't know if we're going to get approved. So then we didn't want to advertise it yet. So it was kind of like, we're new to this. So we didn't know if we could advertise or not and how the permit plays a role.
Okay, if you could just clarify when you said when the Saturday came up from the mayor's office, that wasn't brought up or that wasn't off.
Yeah, they said that Department of Transportation is asking why we didn't do on a Saturday. But we've been working with them for a while, and unfortunately that conversation never came up until last week. So it was kind of hard to make the change already because we're working with so many groups that do want to participate that we felt that it was in the best interest of the majority of the people involved to keep it on that date.
Okay, then my last question before, like I said, I had three, Joe, sorry. My last question for now anyway is how is it going to be organized? Because even though the parade starts later for the convenience of the community, so you're going to start at 6:30, you still need prep time. So everyone who's going to be driving down or down at Ka'ala, is HPD going to be there or who's going to be there to stage everyone? Because everybody's coming home, right? Who lives down Ka'ala side.
Correct.
So you're going to have everyone lined up.
We are working with Ka'ala Elementary School. So principal has given us access to the school. So we are gonna, because it's a school function, we are gonna be able to stage off the road. We're not gonna until the very ending when they start shutting down the roads.
Okay. Okay, fair enough for me right now. Go ahead, Joe.
This is not just school students that are marching in this thing. Have you got community groups also going?
Yes, Lions was gonna walk.
We're walking to.
You're walking. Or the trolley.
No, thank you.
Yes, we're trying to, we know Wahiawa is Lelehua, and that's why Principal Nakamoto's mission has always been, like we know we're the center and we're the hub, and so we're trying to do a lot more community outreach. So we do have events you'll see on the calendar, events planned throughout the year to try and hit different groups of alumni for different things. So like the craft fair group is going to be a different group from the football game group and things like that. And then additionally, we are going to open up the school for a health fair. Our Day of Innovation is now blowing up into a Day of Innovation, healthy body, healthy minds. And so we'll be having Queens and the military health groups come down, and it should be a fun day. But we know that we are the heart of Wahiawa. And so that's why it's kind of hard because we're tucked away up there and we're not center, right? And so that's why we were looking into like, can we put flags going up or something? So, I mean, if you ever have any ideas, if anybody ever has ideas, we'd totally be open to things as long as they follow laws, I guess.
Okay, any other questions from board members at this point? Go ahead, TJ.
So I'm not a Lelehua alum, and neither are my sons, but I've lived here in Wahiawa for over, I guess going on 40-something years. So it's great that you guys are doing this. I probably know the Lelehua alma mater better than a lot of alumni do. But anyway, just some suggestions.
Sing it today, right?
Hey. So if you get in touch with Don Robb at the Central Oahu Voice, which is the Wahiawa section, the Central Oahu section for midweek, get to him early. Like
we just had an article run last week's Central Oahu Voice, I believe. We did have last week Wednesday's one had a full article from the front cover to the insides.
Yay.
And then it did, they were so nice about putting that in. And then we did include all the dates for all the events for the community that we have planned.
That would be good. And you could actually ask Don if he include that in his calendar of events besides. It's a separate section in the Central Oahu Voice.
Yes.
Then you can also reach out to Jelani Martinez. As you
Yes.
know, she's a Lelehua alum.
Yep.
She's a Whitmore girl. Get some coverage on Hawaii News Now and
She's
Eddie Down.
gonna definitely be at the parade. And then I think she's gonna be going to the gala. We're gonna
Oh,
give
that
her
would be
also.
good. And then you can also go up to Iliahi and speak to the principal there and see if you can get their ukulele band
Oh yeah,
to be part of the parade.
they are.
Oh, fabulous. And then
Kamalani.
last but not least, you guys can reach out to the Royal Hawaiian Band. It is a city and county organization, and I don't think they have anything on Wednesday, so there's a good chance that, that they can come and be a part of it. But you were talking about flags and how it's not legal to do it. So what you could do is you could go to the different businesses in Wahiawa, especially those that are along California Avenue and bridge to bridge, and maybe have a 2x4 or a 3x5 banner that they can display, or posters that they can display either in their store window, their store door, their store front. You can go and see Harris Zane. He's got the property at the corner of California and Kamehameha with that beautiful green Lelehua color fence. You folks could put something up there, but and reach out to every business in Wahiawa, in Whitmore, and
So-
put something that says, "We are Lelehua.
Yeah.
We
so
are Wahiawa."
We are gonna be walking the community, the PTSO president and I. So I'm PCNC also. So we're gonna be walking the businesses and then passing out the flyers as well as introducing ourselves, because we think it's important to connect with the school and the businesses and as well as the churches. And we are going to be putting banners up at the feeder schools for sure. Yeah.
And I think maybe if they cannot do banners, maybe they could just do red. See, I'm from Wailua, scarlet and gray. But you
Yeah,
could
my dad
do
too.
you could do yellow and green, decorations, maybe like the week of, you could go to Tanya's
That'd
and
be
ask
cute.
Tanya's if they wanted to put up yellow and green
Green and
uh,
gold.
crepe paper. Oh, green and gold,
Thank
sorry.
you, thank
Yeah.
you, team. Thank
And
you,
even
team.
down at Crandall's, if you could weave green and gold streamers in his fence. And
Yeah.
there's ways of decorating the town to let people know that you are in Mio country and this is Wahiawa. Can do.
you. Those are
See,
good
I still
ideas.
love Wahiawa, even if, I wear the green and the red and gold. The scarlet and
Boy.
gray. All four colors.
Thank you.
Board members, any other comments or questions? Okay, hearing none virtually, Dean?
Good evening, folks. Along with what Member Charisma was saying, yeah, green and yellow is the Bulldogs down in Kaimuki. They copycatted us. And also, Leilehua is also the original green machine, not UH. They took that from us during our football days. So be sure you blast that out there. We are the original green machine. What TJ was saying about putting it up on the businesses along Kamehameha Highway, and I also said do it on California Avenue. And then why are you folks looking at starting the parade either at 2:30 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon? You'd be ahead of the traffic. What is the anticipation length duration of the parade itself?
The duration we're guessing is going to be at most an hour, but we are concerned that there's a lot of alumni or a lot of families, like the parents won't be able to make it back to be able to see their kids in the parade or to watch on the side with their kids.
Well, they're not going to be able to see them at 6:30 at night because it's going to be too dark.
It's going to be like a Santa parade. So a lot of the groups are passing out toys or candies, just whatever represents their group.
Okay, you do know that that is illegal against they cannot, like you said, they're going to have to hand it out and not toss it out. Okay, they're not allowed to toss anything from any moving vehicle in the parade.
Correct. No. They're going to give like Rubik's Cubes from the STEM club to the little kids
Just the
on-
same. What I'm saying is, in other words, if you have it during the daytime, more people, especially if you want the seniors, alumni, to You know,
Well,
6:30
Dean,
at night, hey, I'm getting ready for bed. I got news at 6 and 6:30, 8 o'clock, I'm in bed, you know, so, come on, guys.
I know, man. I
I'm old already.
understand, but
You know, I'm sorry, I'm class of, proud,
it
proud member of the class of 75, you know, you weren't even thought of, neither was your dad. So quite understandable. But
Okay.
yeah, no,
All right, Dean, take it easy, Dean. Take it easy.
you're in the same bracket with me, Ginny. Stop it. But no,
No, not
it's
quite, but almost.
yeah,
But anyway,
you know,
Dean,
you
back
folks
to
might want to
back to you.
consider seeing if a more earlier time is available rather than a later time. Especially in October, you know, that's going to be our rainy season and stuff. And since the kids get out early, you know, you might want to bring it up. Also, make sure you not only invite the alumni, but invite the retired teachers, the retired staff from Leilua. We have some
we are.
great teachers.
And they're gonna, the retired teachers are also gonna have a special event of their own.
Oh.
We just didn't put it on the calendar for the community, but we are gonna have an event for them back at the school.
Oh, okay. Well, make sure you guys should start posting things already and just put tentative, but at least get it out the word going because you're gonna wait too late and nobody's hardly gonna be showing up, I'm afraid, you know.
Yes,
But
thank
thank you.
Okay,
So-
Dean, stand by because when we're done, we will be taking a vote. So, no, Erin had a question.
Is it, Jenny, is there any fundraising? Like, are you selling T-shirts or, I mean, donations to the schools or?
We are not gonna do it on the parade night. Currently, the field permit was not approved. We were gonna do like from the value add center, we wanted to bring in some of the people that just graduated and then have them sell, but because the permit was put down as just selling food, the permit as of right now is gonna get denied. And that was also gonna include homecoming gear. But we are gonna be selling it at the school as well as at the homecoming game. And then all the events that we have listed, the craft fair. There also will be, Wahiawa Fresh will be putting up an online store so that those who are not on island anymore can also shop.
Okay, and Joe, you had a question?
Is the logo you're using, is that copyrighted?
That design,
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
No, that's.
We had an alumni make it. I'm not sure if it is.
Okay,
Yeah.
if it's, I mean, I'd make up some posters because I live in a pretty prominent area on Rose Street. And I'd like to hang this from my wheelchair ramp.
We can totally get some to you. You don't have to make it. We would appreciate it.
Thank you, Joe. Okay, I'm gonna ask community here, any questions or concerns? Please, yep, can you join us? So you can grab one of the microphones up here by the desk. And if you don't mind saying your name and let us know your question.
Hi, my name is Harry Smith. Grew up in Wahiawa. I'm an 85 graduate. I've even helped coach up at the high school. Maybe not this time, but next time, the tradition of the homecoming parade, it's been cut off for such a long time and it lost its flair. It's hurt the community, but kudos to you two guys for stepping up and doing something like that. You guys have my unconditional help.
Thank you.
How about making it the way it's supposed to be? The tradition is Friday afternoon, half school day, you have the other schools that still join in, and you march from Kaala all the way up, and the homecoming game is right after.
I think I know when I was a freshman and it stopped sophomore year, the concern was that when they had it during the school day, there were a lot of problems of students leaving the parade and doing things they shouldn't have been doing. And then technically they were under the schools, like the school was supposed to be watching them, right? And so they were responsible for all those kids. So unfortunately, I think it's really tough for schools to do like massive events like this during the school day. So I know that's why like Mililani, they do a homecoming parade, but it's on a Saturday, I know. Because again, that's permission forms and the kids are going, only the kids who want to go are gonna go. So I know we would love it and we would love the floats back and everything, but yeah.
I know what you guys go through. I work at the Blue and White up on that big hill in town, you know, but I'm still a mule, exit 8.
Once a mule, always a mule.
You know, but just maybe for next time or just to think, you know.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Harry. And I guess everybody, because it's special, this is the 100th, right, the centennial. So all the suggestions are just trying to vet
Yes.
the concerns and or to give suggestions. But yeah, so we can take
Chair, I just one question. Are you guys having a parade grand marshal? Like Mr. Yoshida, you know, Mr. Lelehua himself? I mean, I know he's not a Lelehua grad, but you know.
We're new to this.
But guess what? Next year, you guys are going to be ace. You're going to be starting like as soon as this one is over, you're going to know what to do for next year.
Oh. One and done.
We're taking notes also, yeah. And that's one of the questions that DOT will be asking us tomorrow. So we have field mark.
But if you, yeah, just to add to TJ, if you're looking at Coach Yoshida, who we all worked with in some form of fashion, I was his aide. I used to do all his stuff. But anyway, and I was a wrestling team thing, you know, that we did so much. But if you're looking at Yoshida, I mean, you know, there are other, even in addition to him, you have Mr. Townsend, who was there for decades.
Yeah, there's a whole
Yeah,
list
yeah,
of
you know, it's cool.
really instrumental people, whether they were to the school or to the community or Hawaii in general. So
Just find out.
we were trying to get all of them involved.
Mrs. Lee, oh my gosh, and Mrs. Lee, yeah.
Just find out who's the oldest alumnus.
Yep.
That's all. Don't pick a staff member as your grand marshal. Pick the oldest living senior graduate.
Yeah. And then you have Aldom, you know, you have, right? Isn't Al's in Hawaii, right? Al Harris. Yeah. Yeah. Al is here. Paul Dombrowski comes back to Wahiawa. You know, but so you got a lot of Rick Wagner comes, yeah, they all come back. Anyway, so any other discussion on this? Anything else? Because if not, we're gonna put it on the side if you guys don't wait, if you guys don't mind waiting, and we're gonna call up Carolyn to talk about the veterans. And then we'll come back and do a vote. So board members.
Mayor's office still on.
Mayor's office is, yeah, they're here.
Oh, we would really appreciate consideration at the last minute for the mayor's sponsorship for the event. Thank you. We put it in, but we didn't know about it until very late in the game. So we've been in contact with the office, but we would really appreciate it. If not, the school will, the principal he said, no matter what, we're making it happen for the alumni. So
I want the
thank you.
announcement and then we'll. Okay, so our second presentation is Carolyn Hayashi from the Wahiawa Lions Club to talk about the upcoming Veterans Day Parade, and they also need a letter of support.
Yeah, so first of all, I'm president of the Lelehua Alumni Association, and as part of getting the insurance for the parade, we're sponsoring it. So it's going to be sponsored by the Alumni Association, which is a 501c3. We've also provided all the forms that we had from the Wahiawa Veterans Day Parade that we've used in the past. Don Robbins is a Wahiawa Lion. Jolani Martinez is one of this year's distinguished alumni. So that's why she's really interested in helping to promote Wahiawa projects. So I also support the homecoming parade. Now, in my second hat is as president of the Wahiawa Lions Club. We're really excited to host our 78th annual Veterans Day Parade on November 11th, starting from the district park down to Ka'ala. So we started that last year, and it seemed like people enjoyed going downhill as opposed to going uphill. So we're keeping with that tradition. We also have our permit, street permit that we're working with DOT. We have our, we're waiting for our mayor sponsor, city sponsorship as well. So everything is still going as planned. So I hope that you will support the Wahiawa Lions 78th Veterans Day Parade, which is the longest running veterans parade in the state of Hawaii. Thank you. Does anyone have any questions?
Yep, stand by, Carolyn. Board members, questions, just go ahead.
What time is it?
Well, it starts at 10 o'clock sharp. The parade usually lasts about 1 hour.
Any other questions from board members? Okay, and questions from virtually, we have Dean, go ahead.
Carolyn, can I make a suggestion? You know, the parade has been in existence just a few more years than I was born, but since it's coming up on the, is that the 100th you said?
No, the 78th.
Oh, 78th, I'm sorry. Okay. Well, for the 100th, why don't you, and this just as the future, plan the parade to start at the pool parking lot, go down Keelani, go right around Kaala, and come right back up to Wahiawa Park. That'll be a nice 100 centennial parade there.
Well, I'm
So
hoping.
I give you a heads up on that.
I will take all of your suggestions in consideration for our future events.
Thank you.
Any other questions virtually? I think that's Alicia.
Oh, no, I just wanted to make a comment when Jenny was on, but that's all right.
Alicia, I'm sorry, could you repeat?
She just wanted to make.
I just wanted to comment when Jenny was on. That's what I was raising my hand for.
Oh, okay. So she's not going to comment? No, okay. Thank you, Alicia. I'm sorry if you missed that. Okay, thank you. Okay, community members, any questions or concerns regarding the Veterans Day Parade? Okay. Okay, no questions. Okay, Carolyn, if you don't mind taking a seat down.
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay, board members, again, I need a vote of support to take the vote on presentation 1, which had 2 different presentations, and then we'll move on to item 2 thereafter. But we just did by item number 1, which was the Lelehua Centennial Organization, and the second presentation, these are going to be separate votes. The second vote is for the Lions Club Veterans upcoming parade, 78th parade.
Chair, I move that we approve the Lelehua Centennial Parade.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a second. We have Joe, and we have Joe, and then we have who did second? Was that Sylvia?
Somebody else. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So the first was made by Joe, and the second was by June. Okay. Open for discussion.
Madam Chair, I'm just wondering why was this so last minute? Because it's, you know, they're now trying to rush everything through. And I think I know they can't move the celebration date since homecoming, but I wish it had been thought out a little bit more earlier.
Okay. Thank you for that comment. Any other question, Joe? Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Any other questions for discussion?
Chair?
Oh, yes, go ahead, TJ.
Sorry, not a question, but a comment. I think I would like to tip my hat to you folks because I'm an event planner and I organize concerts as big as 500 people. So I do know that it takes a lot. And the fact that you folks are willing to step up with this short a time frame to do this for our students, our community, our Wahiawa, I mean, it doesn't get any better. That really shows you where your heart is. And I don't know you folks. I don't know if your roots are here in Wahiawa, but I can tell you that the community does appreciate it. And again, next year, you'll be ace at this. So I think for now, I think we should, as a community, as a board, we should do what we can to support you folks. And it is short in time. It is last minute, but trust me, it can be done. So thanks for taking that step out to support our community and our students and our alumni. That's really important nowadays. You heard me talk about the things that are going on at the district park after school. So if this is a small step in starting to instill pride back into our community, then I'm all for it.
Any other comments by board members? Nathan? Was that it? Okay. Well, I guess I'll make some closing comments and then we'll take a vote. I am concerned. I am concerned that of the short timeline. However, we are all, like I said, we are all mighty mules here. We are the mules, and we will work with you. Fortunately, we have the mayor's office. Kevin is here as well, to hear the concerns, but I will put this out for the vote. I will put this out for the vote, but with the caveat that you, or your committee, you're going to be meeting with DTS tomorrow, is my understanding. I really want to make sure that you folks are able to get to work together, and in terms of, because it is last minute in terms of whoever brought that term up, but to make sure that you're crossing your I's and dotting your T's, or crossing your T's and dotting your I's. I want to make sure that HPD is involved, because right now our Wahiawa unit is actually sharing personnel with other areas of this island. And if we need to organize, especially an evening event, now we're talking, I just want to make sure that HPD is involved, all first responders, HFD, EMS, that you would have a EMS unit nearby, if anything, again, because it's evening. So I want to make sure that all safety issues are addressed. I also would ask that if you are working or spotting your equipment down at Ka'ala, that there will be some kind of security for everyone's vehicles or whatever is going to be parked in the school yard or whatnot. I also would ask if it's possible that if you're able to create posters or whatnot and maybe put it on each mailbox. I know that's a lot adding to it, but I think the neighborhood needs to know that this thing is happening and they're going to be lining up at 4 o'clock down there when people are coming home, even though, so you know what I mean? I just want to make sure the neighborhood is aware. So I'm not just talking about California Avenue, I'm also talking about Kilani Avenue, because with all due respect to all the neighborhood, the people who live there, I think they need to know that, hey, my driveway might get blocked in by vehicles, or I don't know, whatever, but, and the HFD and HPD, they might need certain areas to post, their units as well. So I just, with those safety issues, if you, in your conversation with DTS, if you can address those issues, that safety will be part of the discussion. All first responders will be notified and informed from here forth to just provide whatever information, because they really do have to organize. It's not simple. It really, and TJ's an organizer, so she would know. I used to be an organizer, but the first responders are usually more difficult to organize because they're on the spot. If things happen, they gotta go, and then you gotta have somebody else there, so as much information or heads up is good in your discussion with DTS, and they're aware of that too. The other thing I think, just for Lelehua as a whole, I think that it would be great if your faculty will be helping to organize, whether they're lined up along the streets, because somebody's going to have to sweep up the streets after 7 or 8 o'clock, whatever time it is. So I don't know if it's the kids who are going to be volunteering or faculty, but somebody needs to sweep up that street, unless you guys are bringing in a street sweeper. I'm not sure. But, that 6:30 to 6:30 start, it will get dark pretty quick at that point. So again, whether you're going to pass out little flashlights or something, but safety will become an issue that needs to be addressed. So if you can take that with you, and if you can assure me or assure us that you'll be addressing all, if not some of those concerns at your meeting tomorrow, then at that point, I'm going to open this up for our board to vote on. So any board members, any other comment to what I just expressed concerns of? Because we do support it. We just want to make sure it's done.
The, go ahead, Dean.
Go ahead, Dean.
Thank you, sir. Just one question to Jenny. When was this first brought up at Lelehua? By the principal or by whoever had this idea?
It was brought up honestly by a bunch of us because we're alumni
No, but when?
during the summer, but we didn't realize how lengthy the process was because we've never done this before and no one at the school has done this in years, and policies and procedures are changing all the time, we're finding. So I mean, even between getting our identification, the state sent it for us, and then no, it was supposed to be sent to multiple offices. So everything is becoming a lot longer than we initially thought. So that's why it's only coming. And then the board was recessed for the
Okay,
last 2 months, so we couldn't.
Okay, excuse me. I work in government. I'm well aware I'm planning an event such as this, but I'm just thinking that I would have thought, and I'm just assuming that the principals or the people in charge would have been planning a centennial event years ago, so it would have been ready. But it's not blaming, and I'm not pointing my fingers at you. I commend you for doing this. You are taking on a great challenge, and I wish you well. Thank you.
Thank you. We were with what we got, so
Yeah.
we're trying to
Thank
do
you.
our best.
No, I know that, dear. Thank you.
Thank you, Dean. Okay, board members, any other questions or we can call for the vote? Oh, go ahead.
One real
Hannah.
quick one. The Wahiawa Lions Club has done a parade for 78 years, 77 years. They have information. We have information.
Yes.
When we should be working closely with you, right, Carolyn? Thank you.
Yep. So Reen just got me, and Carolyn gave me a lot of the paperwork. Reen actually took over the trolley portion. So the alumni will be taking care of the trolley portion and the alumni. So we love that because the alumni are taking care of the alumni. So yes, they are involved in the process now. So yeah.
All right, at this point, board members, can I call for the vote?
Please call for the vote.
Okay, and Dean standing by. Okay, calling for the vote, and you had made the motion, Joe? Yeah, you can.
I move that we approve the Lelehua High School Centennial Parade presentation and move on.
Okay, and do we have a second?
I second. And also just
I'm sorry, June had already, sorry, I meant
Thank
that
you.
June had already.
That's fine.
seconded.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have a first and a second. Okay, at this time, we're gonna take a roll call vote.
Just want to double check. This is supporting the parade, correct? Okay. Okay. So just for documentation from my side, because presentations is not underneath board business, just want to double check that the chair will like to proceed even if. Okay, got that. Okay. So now I will take the roll call vote. Okay. TJ?
Aye.
Joe? Yes. Dean?
I with reservations.
Thank you. Sylvia? Aye. Erin?
Aye.
Aye. Matthew? Aye. Okay. Michelle? Aye. June? Yes. And then Jean.
Yes, with the caveat of the discussions we talked about. Okay, all in favor? Yeah, all in favor. Okay, we're good. Thank you very much. And we will I'll email you a letter. If not tonight, then first thing in the morning, I'll email it to you that you can take to your meeting at DTS. Yep. Okay, very good. Thank you. Hey, and just, can we do, come on, we can do.
Want to sing the all?
Yeah, we should do it. We gotta walk them out. We gotta walk them out. Come on, everybody, we can do this in 1 minute. Let's stand. Come on. Come on. We can do this. Right, come on.
dun, dun. Hail to Lele Hooah, alma mater dear. Sing a joyful chorus, sounded far and near. Rally on her banner, we will never fail. Lele Hooah, alma mater, hail, hail, hail.
Love it. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you, cheerleaders.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 2. Again, we are in an amended agenda right now. Item number 2, we have a presentation. Also, this organization is the Dow Burger Wino Hub LLC liquor license application. Again, they are going to, I think they're
Madam Chair,
going
point of
tomorrow.
information.
Yes.
Don't we have to take a vote on for the Lions Parade? I mean, the Veteran Day Parade. You said we are going to do that first.
Oh, yeah, we did the line, I'm sorry, the line parade. Thank you. Sorry, gang. Okay, somebody just said June just. Oh. Oh, June, there's an
Need a
MTC.
motion?
Yeah, we need the same thing.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. June, I'm sorry.
Chair, I move that we approve the Wahiawa Lions Club Veterans Day Parade.
Okay, do I have a second? Thank you, June and Joe. Okay. Any concerns, any comments, discussion, board members, Dean, anybody? Thank you, Dean, but any other discussion? Okay, question. Go ahead.
Are we invited to participate?
Yes, and in fact, you have put on a unit at the parade.
Yes, so we're still invited this year?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Never know.
Thank you for the clarification. Okay, board members, any other questions on this item regarding the support of the Wahiawa Lions Club 78th Veterans Day Parade? Okay, hearing none. Oh, go ahead.
Call for the question.
Yeah. Hearing none, calling for the question and
Okay, so I'm gonna repeat the motion. So it is approval of the Wahiawa Lions Parade, the 70th Veterans, 78th Parade. Okay. Wahiawa Lions Club. Okay, okay. Okay. Okay, I think we got that, so we'll just take the vote. Okay, so I'll start with TJ.
Aye.
Aye. Joe?
Yes.
Yes. Dean?
Aye.
Thank you. Sylvia?
Yes. Aye.
Thank you. Aaron?
Aye.
Aye. Matthew?
Aye.
Aye. Michelle? Aye. June? Yes. And then Jeannie.
yes, yes. Yeah, unanimous. Thank you very much. So Carolyn, you guys are good to go. Do you need a letter as well or no need? Okay. Okay. Okay, but you don't need that one tomorrow, right? You can get that. Great. Thank you very much. And item number 2, again, on our amended agenda, we have the presentation on the Burger Wing Hub LLC liquor license application that they're going for. This establishment is located at 93 North Kamehameha Highway, Suite 102. And we have Caitlin Nakano, and she is the administrator. Okay. Hi, Caitlin.
Aloha, I'm Caitlin. I'm the administrator for the Burger Wing Hub LLC. So I'm taking care of the liquor commission paperwork, and which is also a lot. And this is the owner, RJ Majares, and he started the restaurant. He started the concept back in June, and we opened our doors August 10th, and we serve, well, burgers and wings. We have a kids menu and very family oriented. It's owned and operated by RJ and his significant other and their business partners. They're pretty much there every single day, all day long. And we are looking to apply for our liquor commission and a letter of support from the community board. We are only open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. so that it prevents people from getting too rowdy in our establishment. And yep, any questions?
Yeah, so we had this idea back in June, like I said. We want to offer Wahiawa something different to bring something together in Wahiawa, right? A lot of people, like I said, military, local, need something new to Wahiawa, like fresh flavor. I came from a long line of executive chefs from the mainland. I've been in Wahiawa for 5 years now. Um, but like Caitlin said, we want to make sure that our establishment is family friendly because I have kid myself, and a lot of our clientele customers are military and also a lot of family that comes through our establishments. So like I said, 11 to 8 p.m. and then Monday to Thursday, and then Friday through Sunday we do offer brunch in the morning from 9 to 12, and then still open until 8 on the weekend, and then 6 on a Sunday. So preventatively, like those, like I said, the rowdy crowds, if in case that ever happened, HPD will be called. And then I work in a lot of bars in the mainland that I know how to handle those kind of situations. So with that being said, we like your support to something new, something different to us, and also from the community as well. Any questions, comments, and
Questions?
concerns?
Oh, yes, good. Joe and then Sylvia.
First of all, exactly where is this located?
This is near Little Caesar's Pizza, the Wahiawa Mall, Shige's, that strip mall right there. It used to be the Jamaican Jerk, used to be. Actually, my store is next door to it, 15 and under. We own that unit as well. So when Jamaican Jerk decided to sell, then we jumped in and renovated the whole thing. We want to make sure we're compliant with the DOH and everything else. So with that, yeah. So next to Little Caesar, across Zippies and Kamehameha Highway. Yep.
A quick question. You have music there too, don't you?
We do live music from on Saturday from 5 to 8. So we do like to support those local musicians. If you guys know Dave Tama or Ikaika, Jansen, we brought them in to support those individuals too. One or two, small kind setup. Like I said, family oriented. They play their music for 3 hours. A lot of family just having fun, eating some good food. But yeah, we do have live music. If get approved for that, I like to bring in another day on a Friday from 5 to 8 as well. So to support those local music as well from Wahiawa, Mililani, or North Shore. So I know a lot of those people like to play music in Waikiki, but they want to play in Wahiawa instead.
Okay, Matt, you had a question?
How has business been so far the past month you've been
It's
operating?
very humbling. It's right now we didn't do any outreach yet except for word of mouth and Instagram and Facebook. We did set up our Yelp and Google, so a lot of those we taken as in effect bad or good reviews. So we make changes every single day to make sure that we accommodate to the community and they say, hey, your menu is a little too expensive, so we brought in our horizon. And then my menu is specialized on a lot of options from vegetarian to gluten-free into meaty burgers, from Kiki's menu, and pancake to smoked chicken wings into a big meaty burgers. Also, we have like vegetarian and gluten-free options as well to our menu.
Erin, you had a question?
I do. Yeah, you have very good Yelp reviews. I'm hungry. Look
Oh.
at your site. It looks really good.
Thank you.
So the alcohol would be mainly beers on tap. Is that what you're thinking?
So as of right now, we will be carrying 2 beers on tap if we are allowed to, because our bar is only set up for beer and wine. If we do get the approval from the board and the chair, we would like to carry at least 4 beers on tap. And support the local brewery as well. Maui Longboard and all that. Of course, your Miller Lite and Bud Light. And so we will be carrying mocktails, that's non-alcoholic drinks, and also cocktails for the ladies, and of course, beer and liquor too for the men.
So we understand that the Liquor Commission is on about a nine-month wait. And so we are putting in for a special events permit to help, special events, a special project where we can get our liquor permit sooner rather than waiting the 9 months.
Just to add on,
Yes, go ahead.
all the drinking is inside, right? You don't want to have any outdoor seating. It's all inside.
Yes, so I already talked to the landlord. We do requested originally, there's a 1 or 2 tables outside, but they deny us because it's a public space. So the alcohol will stop inside the facility. So there will be signage that no alcohol beyond this point, and it will be controlled environment. I'm not sure if you guys been inside the unit. It's very small. It's about 9 tables and the bar, and I can see everything. So like I said, I'm there every single day, from 11 to 8 o'clock, and I do control the crowd. And I do walk around every single table and watch everybody to make sure that they're consuming, or they will be consuming, on the legal limit. Like I said, I worked in a lot of sports bars in the mainland, and I've managed a lot of bars myself. So, and I'm also a certified, I took the bar exam through national wide. So, you know, those alcohol limit, consumption, I'm pretty aware of the legal limit and the law.
Oh, could you tell me how many people does your establishment seat? And do you have, will it be a actual bar or where people can sit at the bar?
Sure.
And what kind of security do you folks have?
As of right now, per the Department of Fire Department, it was last time we checked, it was 39 to 41 seating. There is only 7 seats at the bar, and then there's 9 tables. It won't be a sports bar. I do have a few tables in there that will showcase football games. Like I said, the limit on our facility only up until 10 p.m., but we won't be open that late. It will be open until 8 o'clock. So we'll be controlled environment. It won't be a sports bar per se, but we want to not move on to that specific, but semi-sports bar, because we do have liquor or sports in there, but we're not going to show the UFC fight because it's still a family-friendly, you know, only footballs and baseball per season.
Okay, and he has CCTV with cam security.
Yes. Yep. So security-wise, we're not going to have a bouncer because we're not open until midnight or 2 o'clock. But I do have CCTV in every location, every corner of my restaurant, even in the kitchen and outside as well. Yeah.
Any other questions from the board here? Dean, any questions? Go ahead, I see you.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, a couple of my questions were already questioned and answered regarding the setup of the bar and the seating capacity. With your special permit use, if Liquor Commission should give you one, on those events, I would stipulate to the board, Wahiawa Neighborhood Board, that we put in the letter of approval, if we do approve you, that a bouncer be hired. I am a former Liquor Commission investigator. I'm well aware that of the law too, sir. So whether you're there or not, sometimes alcohol and people, it's based on body mass, not whether you're there, not whether they're there, body mass consumption. So overservice happens everywhere. I'm not going to say it's going to happen at your place, but it happens everywhere. Sometimes they even come in already intoxicated. So on these special events, I would recommend you hire I would recommend to the board that we require a bouncer be hired. You should not depend upon HPD to solve your problems. That's not their job. Okay, I didn't like that comment because I'm a former police officer also. Okay, the other thing is, do you currently allow BYOB?
Yes, we currently allow BYOB.
Okay, so you already have the liquor signs already up identifying the consumption on premise, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and then when are you going for your hard spirits? Because you're saying right now only wine and beer, is that correct?
No, we're going for a general liquor license.
Oh, you are going for general. Okay,
Yes.
even more so then on those nights, and because you said only till 8 p.m. and all of a sudden I'm hearing possibly going till midnight. Definitely, I would tell our board members on stipulation that you do have a bouncer there. I don't expect I don't think you should be there working behind the cook, running the place, and then trying to be bouncer. Okay.
The special permit would be to help not expedite the liquor commission, but when I was talking to the guy helping me at the liquor commission, he just said because the process is backlogged right now, that what they usually do is do a special project, and that's categorized as a special events license to
Was that
help.
the front office or the licensing section?
That was Douglas Hole from the project section, special projects.
Okay. Okay. The stipulation of a special license is just for a one-time event. Okay.
Yeah, he said it just would be continued every day until the liquor license has goes through the hearing and gets approved.
Yes. Yeah, but that's the stipulation. What I'm asking is that they're going on the special license for a general or a special license just on your wine and beer?
For general.
Okay, then again, I would stipulate that to my board members that we require a bouncer be hired. Thank you for answering my questions. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. And if you don't mind, I'm gonna do a little bit of a follow-up on what Board Member Dean just said. I'm a little confused. I'm a little surprised maybe that the liquor commission / staff person would say, since we're behind, that go ahead and get us the special permit while we work out because that means you could actually start doing special events with the special permit, which you're only getting because you need the other permit. Correct, right? So would you be actually using that special permit while you're waiting to get your other permit?
Yes.
Yeah, then that doesn't, I don't know.
So
that doesn't
from
seem right.
from what I understand, sorry to cut you off, Chair.
Go ahead.
Because that unit has not been established to carry liquor license. The building itself has, because our next door, the clubhouse, they have liquor license. So in that unit, that specific unit has not been established, so they're putting us on an event license. From what I'm understanding is 9 months probation, if you will, in order to go to get that actual liquor license.
So we can't get a temporary license because there's been no liquor license in that establishment before. And that's why it's not the quick hearing and approval. They have to do all of the due diligence. Yeah.
Yes. So it's like a probation for us because that unit has not been established ever to carry a license. Yeah.
Right, but that special permit allows you to do more than what you normally would do, right? Because like you said, you have a limited space, it's family friendly, but with that special permit that you're gonna have as a test period for 9 months, during that 9-month time, you actually could use that special permit and have functions. Not
Madam
like,
Chair.
yeah, hold on. I just want to make sure I'm understanding this correctly, right? Because once they issue you for 9 months, they have 9 months, and that's the duration of time you have to wait to get the original permit or the actual permit that you want.
Actual license.
Actual license.
So then when you get the actual license, then will you give up that special permit?
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, it's like a probation period for us. Because like I said, that unit has to be established. So they're putting us on a probation for 9 months to carry out an event license only for that unit. And then once the probation ended, 9 months to a year, how long ever they take, then we get the actual license.
Right.
Then we can have the actual permit.
Wait, I think we have the same question. I'm sorry. Okay, one more, and then I'll give it to you, Joe. One more question. Okay, so I'm sorry, one more Hanaho on this one. So you get the special permit license while you're waiting on probation for 9 months to get the regular license. But during that time that you have the special license, you can only run special events?
No, it's for everyday serving.
It's everyday serving.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Madam Chair.
Oh, go ahead, Joe. Go ahead, Dean, sorry.
Yeah, the special license, the special permit falls into the category because the gentleman already said that they have live entertainment. And because of that, that classifies them in the quote unquote sense, the special license permit event. Because they have live entertainment, they can get that permit ahead of the general license. So it's not really a probation of a license. It's just to cover the fact that they have live entertainment where alcohol is being served, and that's why it falls under that category until they do get the hearing for their general.
So for the special events, it's a minimum 6 weeks wait period instead of the 9 months.
Yeah, they're not trying to circumvent the law. It's just the way it happens.
Right, and I get it. I'm just trying to wrap my head around that. You can get a bigger or more flexible special permit as your probationary period, and then when you're done with the probationary period, then you get the smaller or lesser.
Okay, technically, it's not a probationary, Jeannie. It's just a one-day event license that
No,
they
no, no.
that,
You
they,
said
that
it's
they're
a-
getting approved. Right. He's using the wrong words.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's like a more of a term of probation. Like we needed
It's
an
not-
event license every single day. Sorry for the miscommunication for the word I'm using. But every single day we need an event license that we have to pay out daily to the liquor commission up until we can get the actual license. The license, yeah, the actual license.
Yeah, don't use that word probation because it is not a probationary license.
Thank you
where
for
the
that.
confusion is.
Thank you for that clarification. I appreciate that. Okay, any other questions from the board? Yes, go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, I don't understand, first of all, the business mind going on here. You're closing at 8 o'clock. Okay, you need a liquor license, even though it's family friendly, and you're there primarily to serve food.
Yes.
Is that
So
so you can't wait the extra months to get a beer license?
it depends on like I'm hearing I do a lot of research online that it takes 6 months to even a year to get your liquor license. So for our establishment, even though we're a family oriented restaurants, I do showcase some football games on there. And sometimes when a lot of family comes in there, they ask for if you guys have liquor license and stuff. We would like to offer that to the family that comes through our establishment, especially like the military that likes football games and stuff, baseball game. You know, it's not going to be primarily served more alcohol. It will be more like a 70-30, 70% food that we sell and then 30% of the alcohol that we serve. You know,
We'd like to increase sales by a minimum of, or like about 12% with alcohol. Food is our main point of service, but we would love to offer it. It has high margins, and we would like to yield those into our business because you guys are all aware that Hawaii is very expensive. Wahiawa is, right there too, and so we like to profit where we can.
right. So the profit margin for liquor is about, you're looking at about 92%, and then versus the food is about 78%. So we like to increase our daily sales or weekly sales to just make sure we maintain the overheads and expenses throughout our establishment. So the liquor license will gradually improve and then increase our sales so we can stay on track with Wahiawa community.
Go ahead, TJ.
So I just want to make a couple comments. So you are a restaurant that is going for a liquor license to enhance the atmosphere,
Yes.
your experience, your dinner. So when you come before a board like ours and you want to share information, you should make sure that you have all your information and the right verbiage because it can be confusing. I know I'm a liquor license consultant and I've done some major restaurants. So I think if you're going to depend on a liquor license on whether or not your restaurant fails or doesn't fail, then maybe you should look at your business plan. But if you've got a restaurant and your wait staff is great, your food is great, your prices are manageable for the demographic community that you're in, I think you'll be fine. And adding on that liquor license will, of course, just enhance that. I don't think you should get a liquor license to prop up your business or to ensure that your business will make bigger profits. Because like you guys said, you know what the community is like, you know what your profit margins are, and you know what it takes to run a business. So if you came into a restaurant business and you didn't have the wherewithal or the business plan to survive without a liquor license, then that's something to think about, yeah. But I'm just saying that if your business is there to have great burgers, and I've heard great things, I was looking at it on my social media, lots of people have good comments about your place, then I think your liquor license will just enhance that atmosphere, that experience. And before you go hiring somebody, security or whatever, I think you should also look at your lease and what your building management calls for as far as having security on the premises when you have a liquor license, because I think somewhere along the line in the application process, you'll have to provide information about your lease and what does your building owner or your landlord require. So it's great that it's only going to be open till 8 o'clock, but if you're going to be open from 11 in the morning and your liquor sales can potentially start at 11 in the morning, you've got 9 or 10 hours that people could come in. And I've sat in the bar with people that have been in there for 9 or 10 hours. So just be careful. Make sure that your employees are taught how to deal with customers. And by the way, do you have employees that are under 21? Will you have employees that are under 21?
We do have one, 18. They won't be pouring alcohol. They will be just serving them. Our bartenders will be over 21 and above.
Okay, so just make sure that you're cognizant or that you understand what the restrictions are for somebody that is under 21. So,
Yes.
but much success to you folks. I'm gonna get there one of these days. And again, I've heard good things about your restaurant, and I hope you folks can do it all and continue to thrive in our community.
Thank you.
Okay, at this point, any last questions from board members, Dean virtually or here at Halikoa? And if not, we'll call for the vote. Any? Yeah, if you have a question, sure. Can you come up and use one of the microphones? And please say your name when you come up. Thank you. Oh.
Hi, I'm Arlene. First of all, do we know how many restaurants in Wahiawa have liquor licenses already?
Off the top of our head, no, but that is in part of our research that we've done, put together for the liquor commission application.
So you don't know?
No.
How many in, because Wahiawa was like a 1 mile radius. It's a small town.
Yes.
Like you said, it's family oriented.
Sure.
So that's my concern. I want to know how many of them are here already and what's the normal percentage of restaurants selling liquor to
It's
in
a
a
total
small.
of 5.
How many?
It's 5. 5
Five?
in the Wahiawa area, yes.
5 in a rural area. So we don't know if you're number 5 or number 4.
No. There are 5 establishments already in the Wahiawa area with a liquor
Five
license.
already. So I'm just curious to know that, have you done statistics to show like how many in a small community like this is a good thing to have? Is it good to have liquor, in a small community? And then the other thing is how loud will your music be? Is it, because in your area, it's this very small area, restricted, there's families, there's apartments. How loud, how loud was your music going to extend to?
The door is closed. It's only a one-man show with a guitar or a ukulele.
So that's it,
That's
one man show?
No
Okay.
bands, no drums, no
Okay,
piano.
all right, that's what I was concerned about. And are you familiar with our demographics here in Wahiawa? We have extremely, very, very large homeless, houseless community. And they get in trouble all the time for trespassing where they're not supposed to be. So there's always people, I've seen several people get arrested, homeless people, houseless people get arrested for no trespassing. And it's a big scene. To tell you the truth, I was very disturbed when I had to witness that because to me, it was violent because there was several cop cars, so are you aware of that
Yes.
situation?
So in our building, the landlord is aware of those trespassers. Like I said, I own the 15 and under next to my restaurant.
Which one? Where do you?
15 and under. I own that store too, next to my restaurant.
Yes.
So right on that strip.
Yeah, it's a very small
Yeah.
strip,
So
right?
I own two of those units. In instance about six.
Can you guys get closer to the
Yeah.
mic? You're-
And about 6 months ago, we did call the landlord, and the landlord did call HPD to make sure that those homeless doesn't stand by on those units.
Yes, and
Yeah.
in fact, earlier today, we had not an incident, but I guess all the tenants kind of come together and talk with the other tenants about if this person is a homeless or if this is a situation or not. So we are definitely aware of that. We are aware of our community surroundings. He lives literally 1 block from the restaurant, so he's very immersed.
And it's growing, it's gotten bigger.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you guys,
Okay,
in your business now,
can
you
you
don't,
wrap it up?
okay, you don't call the police or for trespassers right now currently in your area?
We do call the landlord, and then the landlord will.
How many times a
Oh.
month?
Once every 2 months that we had.
Okay, all right. I'm just concerned that
Sure.
they're gonna walk in and they're gonna order a beer
Right. Right.
and then
Oh,
what are
no.
you gonna do, you
Yeah.
know? Okay,
All right,
thank you.
thank you very much. Thank you for your question. Okay, board members, again, any last questions or comments before we take the vote? And again, Joe, I will need to have your, but any other questions before we do that? Oh, go ahead.
I'd just like to say, as board member, I'm all for supporting new businesses coming into Wahiawa. So I'd like to see this passed.
Okay, thank
Thank
you
you
for
so
that.
much.
And okay, before we go, I do want to make similarly a brief comment as I did with the other group prior to you. It is a little confusing of your situation, but like Michelle said, we want anyone who comes to Wahiawa to be successful. We want you to be part of our community. We want to be a part of you as you grow your business. But I do have concerns, and just in general concerns of this whole thing of the special permit versus the regular permit. I'm a little curious or concerned that although it was stated it takes 9 months to get the special permit, I was a little concerned that you're willing to do that while in earnest, your goal is a more family-oriented small business, 40 seats or whatnot. So I'm a little hazy on that you're eager to jump in, or as was suggested, to go for the special permit, which would allow you to have more events, special events, versus plugging away and just waiting until you can get that special, while you use your regular permit that you can get and have your business go on a daily basis while you wait for the special permit. So that's my concern. It's like, well, why wouldn't you be able to wait? Why do you need that special permit unless you're planning on doing a lot of special events? But if you're not, like you said, you're not planning on using it for special events, then why not just wait and use your regular permit that you're going to be getting versus, waiting the 9 months for that regular permit versus rushing or getting the special permit. I'm sorry, I'm kind of, you know what I
No,
mean?
you're
It's
fine.
just the-
Can I add on to that?
Yeah, you can.
A lot of from my business experience in the restaurant business, a lot of restaurant fails because they don't market it right. They don't market it properly. If you only sell food, like DJ said, you're enhancing the experience of our customer base. A lot of people right now, like I said, we're outside military base. A lot of them comes from the mainland. So a lot of restaurant fails in the first year or two due to not having any, not like the liquor or the beer enhancing the experience. We have great food, I know. And then we continue doing so. However, that moving the particles, if you will, having that one step ahead of the game will help us grow to the next level. So we won't fail as a business owner. So I see a lot of, like, during COVID, a lot of restaurant fails because they don't market it properly, or a lot of like restrictions. But in about 1 to 2 years to 5 years, that's where you want your restaurant to succeed because you don't see any profit, you don't see any money comes from it unless you do something to the next level. And that's what we'd like to offer our customers, that next level to enhance the experience of our guests.
We just want to enhance the experience and we want to get there as fast as possible with doing the correct work. And we want to have community members and all of community on board. And whatever our give back can be so that, you know, it comes from a place of community orientation, we also would love to do too.
And also I talked to, I'm organizing the Kids Eat for Free with Kaala Elementary and also Schofield every Monday. So those proceeds, 50% of the proceed will go towards the school to just help back to the community. So I talked to one of the administration in Schofield Elementary School, and then we're trying to organize that too. So a lot of like family members come in there, a lot of, but also going back to the liquor license, whatever, we want to enhance it, their ambient experience in our establishment.
Okay. Dean, you have a question and then we'll take.
A quick reminder to, I just want to stipulate, because the gentleman said that they're probably looking at extending hours till midnight.
No.
And once they get a liquor license, Madam Chair, they're not required to come back to the board to let us, they're saying now 8 p.m., but they're not required to come back to the board to say, we're extending our hours. So I just want to reiterate that if you are going to extend your hours, anything past 8 p.m., I would like you folks, I really strongly urge you folks to get a bouncer to assist with any unruly or persons that you deem may be intoxicated. Okay, thank
Sure.
you.
We won't be extending because I like my employees to just go home.
Well, you said midnight.
Did I?
Yes.
I don't think I did.
Fridays.
So
But that could be when you get your general license. I don't know, but that's what I heard. Okay, but we're in discussion right now, so thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dean. Okay. Any other questions or concerns, board members? And if not, I'm going to ask Joe to take the.
Chair, I'd like to make a motion. The Burger Wing Hub LLC is requesting approval from the board for their liquor license application.
We have a second. Do we have a second? We do? Okay.
I'll second.
Okay. So, I'm sorry, Michelle. I'm sorry, TJ. Michelle. Thank you. Sorry about that. Okay.
Point of information, Madam Chair.
Yes.
Are we going to address also the stipulation if they extend hours to hire, make sure they have a bouncer or not?
That I'm going to say is a separate item. Because I'm going to make a comment after this. So
Okay.
I'm going to make a comment after this.
Okay.
So that would be a separate item that they may have to come back for.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay. Can you take the vote then?
Okay, just gotta repeat the motion. This is to, let's see. Approval for the Burger Wing Hub, requested approval for the liquor license application. Okay, sounds good. Okay, let's start with TJ.
In support.
Yes, okay. Joe?
No, I don't think Wahiawa needs this kind of enhancement.
Thank you. Dean?
With stipulation, aye.
Okay. Sylvia? Yes. Aaron?
Hi, I think it's important to support small businesses.
Thank you. Matthew? Aye. Michelle? Aye. June? Aye. And then Jeannie.
Caitlin, it's been great talking to you. I just want to say I really want you guys, I want you guys to do well, but in this case, I really have some concerns about just a little bit on the clarification on where you guys want to be and how you guys want to head. And part of me, because you seem young to me, so I'm excited for you folks that you have this, this venture. But I keep thinking you don't need that special permit right away, even though you can get it right away. And I kind of feel like having the restaurant in a family situation that would help you get started and get established in the community first would be helpful. So in this case, I am going to, at this time, say with reservations, that I'm going to vote yes, but with reservations. And I'm asking you to really reconsider accepting or going for that special permit. Okay, oh, and so, yeah, go ahead, June.
I don't believe that they would pursue that special permit
But
because it takes so long. It's it's like the entire city permitting process
information.
takes so long.
No, actually, June, they were told they can get the
Yeah,
special permit
and
first.
this is why the person in charge of the special
Point of information, Madam Chair.
said that
Hold on.
they recommended it. He didn't even know about it.
Yeah, they recommended it.
Correct. But
And that's why they're recommending it, because it's taking so long. And what the city's trying to do is trying to get these things expedited. So
yeah, but it can't get expedited without a board vote.
Madam
So
Chair, we're in a vote. We cannot be having a discussion.
oh, stand
no,
by,
just
Dean.
explaining what she was concerned about.
And please point out to the board,
No, we're okay. I just asked her. Okay. Okay. Okay, so we took the vote.
Okay, so I can announce the vote results, but I do also have to make a comment afterwards too. So there was 8 ayes, 1 no, and 0 abstentions. So the motion was adopted. But my comment is that because presentations weren't listed under board business, this might come back at us.
yes.
Yeah, so I'm just letting the chair and the board members know. Thank you.
Oh, hold on.
What does that mean? That it might come back at us?
Not in a bad way like that. Sorry, I didn't mean it like that. But it means so because it's not listed under board business, not specific to what the item is about. So if we had done it properly, it would be like, oh, voting on approval of the permit, or something like that. But because it is under presentations, what it is just, okay, the group will come up to present to community and the board members, but answer questions, but it's nothing to vote on until it's actually listed on board business.
May I
So
clarify?
go ahead.
Basically, in other words, we did not give the general public, the community, the heads up that we were going to be taking a vote on this motion tonight.
Exactly.
That's what it is that if anybody was in opposition or not in opposition, they would have the opportunity to come, give their say, and then the board would consider their opinion or their remarks also. But because it was moved on in the sense of adding it to a vote, board action, that's what she's saying. Because then somebody can make a complaint against us for not giving them the opportunity to come forward.
Chair Ishikawa, I have a question.
Hold on. Thank you, Dean.
So if this vote is not valid or may come under question later, does that mean the board's support of the Lions Club Veterans Day Parade and the Homecoming Centennial Parade for Lelehua High School faces the same question? Because again, neither of those presentations were listed under board business, similarly to how the burger for this liquor license application. So if I may ask, when is your hearing?
We don't have it scheduled yet.
Okay, so if I could ask, if we could table the vote on the liquor license application, once you do have a firm date for a hearing, come back to the board, let us know where you are in your application, and at that time, we can take a vote to support or not the liquor license application.
So actually,
TJ. Point of information.
Wait, Dean, hold on. So actually, we're gonna put a call in tomorrow to NCO, so we don't, and then we can get in contact with you folks, so it doesn't get so complicated. Part of it is that, when we explain, especially the Lelehua High School Centennial, because the group has been working with the mayor's office as well as DTS and all that. So there has been movement on that, or working, it's been a work in progress, I guess it should be said. So we'll put a call in tomorrow to confirm that, because they're aware of all this rush that was going on for the parade and all that. So we'll put a call in tomorrow and then get that squared off. And then you folks are not as impacted as much as the other groups, but then we can get back to you as well.
Point of information, parliamentary wise. The difference here is that the law requires any potential liquor establishment to come before the neighborhood board and present their application review. The Liquor Commission also requires in its rules and regulations that they come before the neighborhood board, make a presentation, and in support or denial. This is why our vote is imperative to their application. So that's the difference there, TJ. The Lions Day Parade and the Lelehua Parade are not required by liquor law. They don't fall under that category. So therefore, there's a different type of entity that surrounds them.
Yeah.
Here
Chair,
they,
I'm going to ask that you folks ask for clarification from the office, because I'm not going to get into a he said, she said, because the rules are the rules, and we're just going around in circles. So if you don't mind.
Yes, as I said, we'll make that call tomorrow.
well, I'm glad you are doing that, Jeannie. I was just trying to assist, but she wants to get into a pissing competition. That's up to her.
We're gonna stop right there. We are
No,
gonna
I'm
stop.
not. She don't
Rules
need to
of
shut me down like that.
Rules of decorum, all participants at this meeting shall extend the spirit of aloha to one another. There shall
Well, it
no
wasn't
be no.
extended on her end.
We're gonna stop. We're gonna stop. Okay, moving on to our next item. Caitlin will be in contact with you, okay? Moving on to our next item, we have our elected officials calling up the mayor's representative, Kevin, and I apologize, there's a typo on the agenda.
Chair and board members, I'm Kevin Auger. I'm the mayor's representative. I just have a couple of quick follow-ups from the July meeting. Board member Harvest had raised the question, and just to review it real quick, bus 52, he asked the question if that could be a 24-hour route. And I think in July, DTS, the Department of Transportation Services, had responded that there were no plans to expend the time service to a 24-hour route for Route 2052. However, if more details are provided on the riders and the bus stop location, they can reevaluate to see if an additional later trip could be added, but that the current operating profile didn't warrant the allocation of additional resources for 24 hours. In the follow-up, I think that board member Harvest asked if DTS could provide all of the ridership numbers for the bus routes. And the response to that was yes, DTS can do that. They can provide ridership numbers. There's a form that needs to be filled out and requested. I brought that, and I can also email you the PDF, Chair Ishikawa, if that's helpful, whatever you folks want.
You can send me a PDF, thank you.
Sure, I'll send that in the morning. And they just mentioned that, DTS has got a constrained operating budget. It's not feasible to allocate additional resources for the requested increase at this time due to the minimal late night ridership levels, but that they can certainly consider that in the future during DTS's ongoing review of the bus network to maximize service delivery, operating efficiency, and resource allocation. So I'll forward that form, Chair Ishikawa, and we can take it from there. The second question was regarding the Queens Medical Center, the permits for that, and DPP responded that that the alterations are currently pending electrical and mechanical code review, if that's helpful. And that was all I had. And I'm certainly
Thank you, Kevin.
standing by to respond to any additional questions.
Any questions from the board?
Let's talk about Rose Street and speeding cars
Yeah.
that are continuous. I know DTS, they laid a couple of tracking tapes across the road in two different locations. None of the cars were actually that they tracked. There were like 2,300 cars. Were actually going faster than 38 miles per hour. The average was 25.1 at the bottom of the hill. I know for a fact because I sit on my wheelchair ramp every day and watch the speeders up and down. They've got to do that again. And I would gladly work with them and tell them what times to come and monitor the traffic because there are a lot of speeders.
Yeah, it just seems to be an ongoing concern. There was a young lady that grabbed me in the corner there and she was talking over the meeting. So I gave her my email address and certainly would be happy to follow up with her. But I think that we just continue to, maybe the board can present that question to DTS again to see if they can get it on their next schedule because they do those monitoring events all the time.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Any questions from is that Dean? Dean, go ahead.
Hi, Kevin. How are you, sir, this evening? If you could do me a great favor, if you could contact Liquor Commission, ask them for the section in which they require a liquor license applicant to come before the neighborhood board so we could put an end to this bickering. And the board all knows under what section of the law it is required. I'd appreciate that, sir.
Certainly, I can follow up on that for you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, can I ask a question?
Go ahead,
Hey,
Erin.
Kevin, I have a question. So
Sure.
I know we've all been experiencing horrendous traffic in Wahiawa due to the bus driver shortages of the school buses. And I work with Blossom, who is transportation for the DOE. And she says the issue is that a lot of, the city and county bus drivers just make more money and they're just more set hours. I don't know how that can get resolved. Sort of like they're saying, like, we'll train people in the DOE and then they switch over to the city and county because it's steadier work hours. I mean, are there plans to resolve the shortages? Are there training? What are some solutions?
Boy,
for
it
both
is
sides?
it's an issue statewide, citywide, departmental wide. And if you look across the city and the state, every agency is 25 to 30%, is running 25 to 30% vacancies. And there's a lot of poaching that goes back and forth. We take from the city, the state, they take from the city. It's just we have a massive need for people, for talent, and it's just hard to fill. But what we can, if there's a formal question that we can.
No, I think that gets, I mean, I guess just like maybe like a unity of effort. I mean, has the ridership increased now that we're getting out passes to, I mean, if, certainly high school students can be taking the city buses. It
Yeah.
doesn't work for elementary school students and maybe middle school students, but to have all these buses driving around, can we change some of the route, were any of the routes changed so that those city buses can turn into school buses?
It's a great question. I think why don't we put that on the agenda to follow up with DTS, and I'll ask Roger and John when I see them at cabinet tomorrow. If that's something that they've considered or if they've looked into. I don't have any personal knowledge of that, but they may have for sure. Yeah, happy to follow up on it.
Okay. All right, thank you. Oh,
And if you know anybody that's looking for employment, we are open for business. It's one of the biggest initiatives that the mayor currently has is trying to get the employment numbers up, and we're hiring.
okay. TJ, and then we got to pick up some speed here. So because it's at 9:30.
Thank you. So I just wanted to dovetail off what Erin said is that this driver mess is a mess. It's a contract mess, right? Because a contract was given out to GTI and when they found out in July or June, I think, that they were not able to provide enough drivers for everyone to supply and service all of their routes, there was the problem. And they come under DOE, which comes under funding from the state. The city bus drivers come under funding from the city. So, yeah, I'm sorry. I lost my train of thought, but I know it's a mess because DOE comes under the state and the city comes, is where Roger Morton and the bus comes under. So trying to keep them in parallel, going in the same direction, trying to keep our community moving, keeping our students in line, and yes, alleviating the traffic in Wahiawa. Yeah, hopefully it'll get better.
Yeah, let's raise the question with DTS so we can follow.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Okay, any other questions? If not, I have one for Kevin.
Sure.
Okay, Kevin, I was asked about a development that's happening in Lower Wahiawa, meaning by Walker and Pine Street.
Yeah.
And it's near the Harriet and Jeanette, the Silvercrest building at 520 Pine Street.
Yep.
But in that street, there is something being built. And I was asked by two community members saying, what is being built? They've tried to ask what it is. I do have photos. I went down to take photos, to just so I can show it to you, but
Do you want to email them to me?
Yeah, I
Let's take
can-
a look.
so-
Yeah, is it a commercial development or
It-
residential?
there's no sign on it. So, I mean, there's like the future, whatever. There's no billboard in front of it or anything.
Yeah, if you also, just for awareness, if you visit the DPP website and you enter the street address,
Mhm.
It'll give you the TMK and you can follow up on the
Correct.
DNK to see if there's any active permits open.
Correct.
So if you can send me the pictures and we can find out what the actual
Yep.
street address is, I can look that up
Yeah,
for you.
that'd be,
And we can follow up with DPP as well.
yeah, okay, that sounds
Yeah,
great.
sure
So
thing.
I'll email that to you either tonight or tomorrow.
Great.
Great, thank you very much. The other thing nope, I got it. Okay, any other questions for Mayor's Rep? Okay, hearing none. Thank you, Kevin.
My pleasure. I'm going to wear gold and green.
Okay. Okay. So board members, we are at 9:30 and we have a few things more. So the next item up would be Councilmember Matt Meyer, Kelly.
Chair Ishikawa,
Yes.
I had a question though. We skipped over the residents'
Yeah, I'm
concern.
going to be bringing that up.
Oh,
That's
okay.
why I'm trying to make everyone.
Okay,
look at the
thank you
time.
so much.
Thank you. Go ahead, Kelly.
Aloha Chair and members of the board, Kelly Anaya from Councilmember Matt Wyer's office. Just a couple of things. Just wanted to highlight, Councilmember was really honored to participate in the annual War Memorial a few weeks ago. He had a nice time connecting with some of the community residents that he hadn't seen in a while. On the back of the newsletter, just wanted to touch upon the e-bikes. I know we're having a ton of issues going on with that. I think a lot of it is just probably misinformation and not so much education as well. One of the key things I wanted to point out is that you need to be at least 15 years or older to be riding an e-bike. A lot of the complaints I get, or Councilmember's office that we get, is that these are young kids. So yeah, if you know anybody, got to be 15 years or older to be riding an e-bike. Couple other things. Just wanted to remind everybody that September 30th is the deadline to file your credits and exemptions for your property tax. Legislatively, just wanted to point out Bill 45. This bill relating to property tax will increase the income threshold to $100,000 for the property owner, which will be raised from 80,000, which is where it's currently at. This bill has passed second reading. And then I know the transit clock, I don't think that was from this office, but I did get the call. I did put in a request back in July for the clock, but I think I reported this probably during Councilmember Sunioshi's time because the clock is old and the parts are outdated. So it does take a little bit of time to get the thing remedied. Likewise, the lights, I believe, that are surrounding at the bottom of the transit area, I did put in a request to get those replaced or repaired as well. And then I think was it July? the maintenance of the ceiling fans and the screens. I did put that in as well, but as of this morning, I still did not hear back from Parks Department. So still waiting on that. And then, just a couple things. The lower Wahiawa Street rehab, that project is currently in the planning and design phase. And then I'm sure you already see, but the Botanical Garden maintenance building restoration is currently in progress. If anyone has any questions for Councilmember, I can take them back.
Any members? Yes, go ahead, Joe.
Is the council member aware that the door to the library has been broken for 2 months? And
No,
boarded
I believe that's state, but I will let him know. And
It is, the library is state, but
yeah, the library is state.
anybody can help.
Yeah, so I'll look into that.
Thank you, Joe. Any other questions for council member's office? Okay, hearing none. Thank you, Kelly.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, moving on to governor's office, Rosemary. Very nice to see you.
Hi, everyone. Nice to see you too, Chair. I'll keep it really brief. An update, the governor visited Maui last month for the 1-year anniversary of the Maui wildfires. And during his visit there, the governor visited a temporary housing project. This is along Lahaina Luna Road. And this is to highlight the ongoing efforts to provide housing for community members who lost their homes on August 8th of last year. And the housing is being developed in partnership with the governor's administration, including the Department of Transportation, Department of Education, as well as organizations such as the Council for Native Hawaiian Advancement and the Hawaii Community Foundation Maui Strong Fund. And the temporary housing is being built on approximately 2 acres of land that was previously acquired by the Transportation Department as part of the Lahaina bypass project. But essentially, that's my update. If there are any questions or concerns.
Any questions, Joe, and then Michelle?
Yes, please.
This is Wahiawa, not Maui, but that's okay. Is the governor aware that the door to the library is broken and has been boarded up for the past 2 months? And if not, could he please do something about it? It's
Yes, sir, I'll bring that back.
also on that library property, which is state property. There was a Hawaiian telephone booth that somebody knocked over, but the wires are still sticking out of the ground, and there are bolts in the concrete that were holding this thing in place that are sticking out of the ground. It's dangerous, and that's on state property. If he could have somebody fix it or remove it.
The telephone booth, can you repeat where the location is for that?
At the entrance to the library's parking lot.
Entrance.
That's on the backside, right?
Yes.
It's on the backside,
Yeah.
Rosemary. Yeah. And the backside meaning the parking lot. So there's one small parking lot. Yeah. Okay. Thank you,
Thank
Joe,
you.
for that. Yeah. And Michelle?
Rose, being elections are coming up, I had people asking me, how are the mail-in votes validated? And how often are the lists scrubbed? And what national organizations are you folks also scrubbing the list with?
What national organizations?
You know, like Social Security and so forth, in case somebody died. And, you know, the mailing goes to the house, somebody else can fill it out.
I'll raise those concerns. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions before we move on to our next presentation? I'm not presentation, but our next elected official. Hearing none. Thank you. Thank you, Rosemary.
Thank you, Chair.
Okay, and our next speaker tonight would be from Senator De La Cruz's office.
You hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Hey, this is Jonah Uehara from the office of Senator De La Cruz. I'd like to report that the Whitmore Ave Sidewalk Improvements Phase 2 project located across of the Whitmore Community Park will begin construction this month with Heron Construction as the contractor. A blessing ceremony took place on August 20th to mark the start of the project. As a follow-up from the last board meeting on the Mango Street property, Aaliyah Bridge, the current owner, owes debts to both creditors and the state. These debts must be cleared before the state can acquire the land. The state is working to either purchase the property or force its sale with the goal of restoring the social services that Aaliyah Bridge previously provided. Lastly, we are following up with DOT on lighting and security on the bridge, so we will provide an update on that at the next board meeting. Open for questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead. Go ahead, Joe.
I know the senator walks his dogs past the library every night. Is he aware that the back door has been boarded up for 2 months?
I will follow up with him on that.
Thank you. We need some kind of action. That's how many of us older folks get into the library.
Absolutely. I'll pass that on.
Jonah, can I just ask a quick question? When you mentioned the bridge lighting, are you talking about the bridge lighting for where? Are you talking about the along Kamehameha Highway Bridge, or are you talking about the future bridge?
To be honest, I'm not too sure. I will follow up on that.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Again, any other quick questions for our senator's office?
Quick question.
Yeah, quick question, because we have to do
It's
two
actually about the library. When the Civic Center is being built, do we know where the library for Wahiawa will be located? No, they don't have to
Yes.
tear it down.
Me personally, I'm not sure, but I will follow up on that.
Okay,
Thanks for
thank you.
The library is a different construction project.
Yeah, not the Civic Center, I'm sorry, the Innovation Center, the one where the DOE, the
Right.
other building that's gonna be built.
Yep. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Hearing no other questions. Okay, last two things, if we can get through this, everybody, we just have, if Representative Peruso is here, and then following that, we are going to move back on our agenda to call up for any residents' concerns. So we do have to try and get this through. So Representative, thank you very much.
Sure, I'll be quick. So I returned from a conference on higher education. I'm a commissioner for WICHE, and we had really important conversations about how we can support our lowest income students. And I'll be bringing that work to this session. On September 30th from 6 to 7:30 at Wahiawa Elementary, we're going to be having Councilmember Wire and I are co-sponsoring a forum on land and affordable housing to look at the legislation that the state passed this last session, and then on the council members' part to look at the implications and the different ways the different counties can implement it. So how that will affect our community. We're still working on the Rose issue in terms of the traffic study. We did get a traffic study back, but we are looking at how to make it more accessible for the public. It's not very comprehensible, or we're trying to figure out how to share that information in a way that people can understand it. The library, I went and visited the library and spoke with the librarian, and we did a follow-up to see when we can expect the window for that door to come in. And we're looking at least a couple more weeks. So I appreciate people's concern, because the library is a really core institution for our community. Bus situation, similarly, we're looking at multiple strategies to address it, but it does look like before session starts, we're really going to have to rely on the department to work with the existing contractor. before we can get additional laws into place. So we are looking at short-term fixes, but the long-term fixes will be more substantive, I think. And to answer the question, the city buses cannot by federal law be used specifically for school transportation. So just a clarification on that question. I appreciated Aaron's question. Yvonne, my office manager, is dropping off radios to folks who are working as our community or neighborhood coordinators, and appreciate their service. So they should be, if you haven't received your radio, be on the lookout for it. And the last thing is we often don't get to share as many updates as we'd like to in these settings. Please subscribe to our e-newsletter. So that's it at representativeamyprusso.com. Done.
Thank you, Representative. That was terrific. Thank you very much. Okay, did you have a quick question? Because we still.
Just really quickly,
Okay, quick question for you, Representative.
Thank you, Prusso, for the library door. I knew you were already working on it, but I had to ask everybody else anyway, to see if we can't push it along. And I've been
Thank you. Some people have more power than I do. I don't know.
I have been in communication with Yvonne about Rose Street and about the traffic study, and I do understand it, but I've gone through it with her.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, everybody. So we are moving back without objection. We're going back to our agenda item number 4, residents' concerns and community announcements. So I thank you for your patience. We did have a full schedule today. Any residents' concerns or community announcements?
Chair Ishikawa.
Hi, Mana.
Oh, color mic.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mana. Oh, Maria, is that Maria? I'm sorry, Maria. I apologize. Maria?
Hi, aloha.
Hi.
Aloha
Hi.
Chair Ishikawa, members of the board. My name is Maria Ralyuhai, and I am a part of a coalition of organizations for good governance led by HAPA, Common Cause, and the Clean Elections Coalition. I will make this really short because I know you guys, it's almost the time, but I would like to request the board to add a good governance resolution to the next meeting's agenda. Basically, this resolution calls on the Hawaii State Legislature to adopt critical good governance reforms that were recommended by the Commission to improve standards of conduct in 2022. So overall, the goal of the resolution is basically to improve transparency and efficiency, including changes to the House and Senate rules for the 2025 legislative session and statutory amendments. We do have a draft of the resolution, and I would be happy to work with members of the board on putting the resolution forward for the agenda or on the agenda.
Okay. Hi, Maria, if you don't mind, then you can send it to me to my neighborhood board email address, and then we can review it and then possibly put it on the October agenda.
Okay, sounds good. Mahalo, Chair Ishikawa.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks for staying with us. I hope you found it
No
interesting
problem.
tonight.
Thank
you very much. Anyone else online? Nope. Okay. And in person, oh, I'm sorry, Lei.
Yeah, Lei Lermont, I want to make an announcement that the Wahiawa Public Library is having a book sale this week on Friday and Saturday, September 20th and 21st from 11 o'clock a.m. to 3 o'clock p.m. And let me tell you, that's the best deal you can get in town because the price we sell the books at is the cheapest, I think, and so please come and support the public library and the book sale.
Thank you, Lei. Oh,
11 o'clock to 3 p.m.
both days, right? Friday and Saturday.
Yes.
Thank you.
But if you want to come from Wednesday in the afternoon to help set up the place, you're welcome to help volunteer your time too. Thank you.
Okay, any, TJ, do you have one last one before, or June, I'm sorry, and then we have to, we're at
Thank you. Real
9:50.
quick. So 2 things. Tomorrow, At Kehi Lagoon, there is a federal job hiring fair. If you are a vet, you have preference from 9 o'clock. Everyone else, including the public, is welcome from 10 o'clock till 2 o'clock. And I brought over a bunch of flyers that was shared with me about different programs for Kupuna and also rent to work programs that the city and the state have. So help yourself. The flyers are on the desk here. Thank you.
Okay, very good. And June, you can be the last one for tonight.
I just want to make an announcement. This is actually for the public. The Oahu Democrats are sponsoring their annual legislative priorities workshop here in Wahiawa on the 10th of October, right in this room, starting at 6 o'clock. It's scheduled to go up from 6 to 8, but I don't think it'll take that long. And like I said, it's really for everyone because our meetings are open to the entire public. So even if you're a Republican, you're welcome to come. And is if Maria's still there, that resolution, if you want to send me that, it could also be part of the package that goes forward.
I'll forward it to you.
Okay, yeah, and because we're looking at all the legislative priorities. There was a survey that was sent out, and then it's actually a workshop that
Okay.
what that is.
Okay. Yep. When I get it, then I'll forward it out to everyone so everyone can see it. Okay. Okay. And having said that, ladies and gentlemen, it's 9:50 p.m. And at this point, we are going to adjourn and pick up the rest of our agenda at next month's meeting. We do meet next month in the month of October at the Whitmore Village Community Park. So that's next week. Now, next month, October, will be at Whitmore Village Community Park. Okay, everybody, all set? Good? And meeting adjourned. Mahalo.